Hello one and all. This is our last day of LPL regular season before we get ourselves into playoffs next week. Next weekend, playoffs will start. We will be having a hell of a lot of games, folks. First 3 days, next weekend, we have 2 best of 5s a day. So, get used to that. Get ready for that. Fun fact, I will definitely think of something for you, Zareth, don't you worry. Hopefully we'll get Sam through here soon. I gotta do some social media in the background, and then we'll be back to really talk about this last series. Technically a battle for qualification as well. Winner of the series goes through as 2nd seed from the group. I think this is group B. JDG finished in 1st place, I think. So this is a battle for 2nd place. I didn't know. I've not managed to watch the LCK games yet, Zareth. There we go. Hello folks, how's it going? I should probably do that thing where I post on social media that we are live. So we have Top Esports versus LGD today. This is looking like quite the one-sided matchup. That doesn't mean it won't have its own interesting moments too. Even yesterday we had some really cool moments in the 3-0 that we had. Now folks, I am on LEC later, so if this series goes to 5 games and it does go particularly late, I'm not sure we can actually finish the series. So that will be a hurdle we will just have to cross if it comes to it. However, given that it's Top Esports versus LGD, I'm hoping that it should go to 3 games, but we will see on that front. Okay, folks, I'm just gonna set my camera. Well, no, I'll leave this for now. But can't trust any sub one-sided matchup. Yeah, I guess so, but yeah, I do understand that to an extent. So we have. Okay, I've just got to post in some places that I am live, because I need to do social media-y stuff. And then we'll be to... Oh, is this manager stuff? Cool. Jaculov. Oh, is this his... what is this? Never missed playoffs. Ooh, that is worth knowing. Jaculov has never missed playoffs. If he does lose today, it'll be the first time that he's ever done that. And this is his placing. Is that like regular season and finish? Or spring and summer, maybe? Well, LGD have been better than I thought they would be. And Top Esports did lose to JDG quite handily, I think, at the end of the day. Fun fact for Zareth. Do you know that albatrosses they can basically spend the entirety of their lives flying if they want to? Because they can just eat while flying as well. Group A, right. Anyways, Daniel's Legend, not JDG. Right, yes, of course, Daniel's Legend. Yep. So this is our last regular season game, folks. But yeah, Albatross, a fun fact there. Albatrosses can spend their entire lives flying if they want to. In fact, they fly for the entire year round until they land to roost and meet their lifelong mates, because they mate for life. However, if they don't have them, if their mate passes away, sometimes they'll choose not to roost and just keep flying. They can just keep flying. So this is LGD. Sassy, Climax, UW, Xiaoye, and YCX. Anything different there? Well, look, LGD are better than I thought they would be, but they did win. They did win a series in this group. They did. Ah, they're in the group with WE. That's why. Yeah. 3-0 WE. WE didn't exactly look the best though. I think WE might have been our worst team in the league. They're down there, right? There's a yeah. I miss when W was good. W are one of the most popular teams within the LPL. It's a big problem that they're not good. There's the quote-unquote big three. EDG, RNG, and WE, who are the three big original teams, really, within the LPL. IG technically do count as one of the original teams too, but they weren't as good for a long time. Oh, Karis. He's had some moments, hasn't he? Sassy, rookie. Didn't really track much of history. Probably should have learned a little bit more about that. Xiaoye, Look, I thought that Xiaoye was... I thought he'd been given a lot of chances at LPL level, and he was consistently throwing in the late game. Not the best scenario. W has been middling for quite some time. They were the worst team last split as well, Mecha. But in spring... Maybe not... No, spring wasn't awesome either, but in 2023 they were good, actually. They were good. 22 and 23 they were good because they had Shanks and Hope as their carry duo. And of course Top Esports as well. They demolished WE, not surprised, but AL, that was a hell of a series. Hell of a series. Oh, we got Zez Fiora in LCK? Hell yeah, let's go. I think Kanavi's been great. 369's look better than he did. Jackie Loves looks obviously very comfortable as well. Remember WE kind of like OMG, very randomly pulls up talent where you don't expect, yeah, for sure. No, I like W for the last few years. Oh, we actually have Zaz Fiora, let's go. Renekton mid? So they pick the Renekton so it can't be picked into the Fiora, maybe? That's kind of funny. And of course, to anyone who's watching on Onivia's channel as well, hope you enjoy the show today. Our last day of regular season in the LPL. Oh, Shanks had such a good Akali game. This is the game they lost though, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure they lost that game. Anyone's life shouldn't look damn good though. Because Top Esports, some big changes to them. Lost Maker, brought in Chris. Lost Tien, brought in Kanavi. When do LPL playoffs start? I think it's the 22nd. 22nd they start. So it'll start next Saturday, I think. Or this Saturday. Starts this Saturday, technically. You know, 7 days from now, whatever it is. But yes, if you're watching on Onivia as well, welcome. Hope you're doing well. For the last 8 streams or so, we've been restreaming this over on Onivia's channel, which is really cool because it allows us to reach you, the audience, but also allows Onivia to do some live content because it's not something that they've done before. So we're both kind of exploring this together. And you know what? I think it's actually been quite successful. Seems like people have been enjoying what we're doing. Oh no, damn. No LPL the whole week? No, we don't have it the whole week. So, folks, If you'd like to catch more content from me, I'll be doing stuff on my Twitch stream. I won't be over here on Onivia. Maybe I'll restream on YouTube as well. I don't know what I'll be doing. Maybe I'll actually just do some more chill content. Maybe I'll actually just play some games for once. Maybe that's what I'll do. I need to relearn the game, man. I watch so much of it, but I don't play the damn thing. Hey Sam, how's it going?
How's life looking, mate?
It's okay. We have LGD top esports today, Sam. Last day of the regular season.
Appreciate this.
And yeah, we also have, as Sam wanders into frame.
Hello, folks.
Yeah, what's the other thing I was going to say? Yeah, we currently have H-Lee Genji on LCK Playoffs.
I heard it's been a fun series. The ruler was putting up some unfortunate numbers.
Yeah, and it probably should have been a 3-0. Zeus is now picking, oh my god, he's not just picking Fiora, he's gone 1-0-1 as Fiora in 3 minutes.
No.
So he's killed Camille, he's gotten a kill onto Ambessa or Camille support and assist onto the other. Was it a level 1? Oh, Jesus. Okay, well.
All I'm saying is if H-Lee go on to win this series.
Vasu, thank you so much for the resub, by the way.
Holy moly. How many months has it been now?
20 months of Vasu.
Holy shit, there you go.
Yay. Hello. Okay, replay that. I don't know how to replay stuff. I need to do it on the alert box, I think, which would be the annoying thing.
Yeah, really. Anyway, I shall return briefly, but I could use a coffee.
Yes, you do that.
Do you want anything from the kitchen while I'm there?
No, I have my coffee. I'm good for now. So, folks, we'll be sticking around and waiting for our, we're now duo casting. Yeah, so that guy over there is Initialise. I'm Nymaera, and we are brothers, so we do duo cast. For the last few days, we've been doing that. Depends on when we're both free, basically. And let me unmute for this, just so I can hear what they're saying. If you speak Mandarin, please let us know what they say.
好的，欢迎吹雪。那今天这场比赛其实是在休假很长时间之后的这一场，所以目前整个队伍的状态和手感怎么样呢？
我觉得还不错吧，反正是逐步上升的一个状态吧，就是还行。
而且现在改版之后呢，前期的节奏是至关重要的，所以面对滔博，你觉得今天野辅的节奏重点你有什么期待呢？
我觉得就是动作要比对面快吧，就是要先一步预测对面动作吧。
先预测对方的这个动作，然后抓住时机。那接下来这一场比赛也是非常关键的，有没有什么赛前跟兄弟们说的加油的话
Yeah, I was away for that weekend. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it.
兄弟们加油！我觉得我们不输给滔博。
好，就让我们一同期待今天这一场对决吧。
Okay.
在赛前采访呢，我们邀请到的是滔博的 Cream。
Welcome to
先跟大家打声招呼吧。
Now I know technically it's the cult
好的，
of
欢迎 Cream。其实距
but
离上
also
一
the
场比赛
lactose
有一
tolerance
段时
club is
间
my
了，
name
你
for
觉
it.
得目前队伍的状态和手感怎么样呢？
我觉得我们目前队伍状态手感还是挺不错的吧。
因为今天的这一场比赛也非常的重要嘛，所以你们对于老干爹赛前有做怎样的充足准备呢？
我觉得我们做的比较充足准备应该就是 BP 方面吧。
BP 方面做足了准备，而且今天其实面对他们的中野的联动也是非常关键的。你是怎么看待今天中野的这一场对决的？
就他们中野会打得比较激进吧，我们应该会打得挺有激情的。今天中野。
好，那就一同来期待今天这个中野对决究竟会怎样展开吧。
Well, hearing a little bit from our players there, that's nice to see. As we bring our Fist back on stream. Now, of course, I don't speak Mandarin, so I can't tell you what you did. But just on the off chance that someone in chat speaks Mandarin or wants to watch back on the VOD, it's nice to unmute them so they can hear what the players are saying, because they don't have the subtitles underneath them, which makes a lot of sense because it's the Chinese stream. But yeah, so we'll have 1v1 side select coming up shortly. We'll go into the arena, get some adverts, I suppose, and then we'll get ourselves a 1v1. I actually didn't check who's doing the 1v1 today. But I need to remember after the 1v1 to run adverts. They don't happen during draft and they don't happen at the start of the game. So someone needs to remind me to do that, otherwise I will inevitably forget. Yeah, that's the thing. Oh, I'm feeling tired today. But folks, as I was saying earlier, hi Ikeval, how's it going? As I was saying earlier, if this goes like a really long 5-game series, could be in a bit of a pickle. Just because Sam and I have something very important to do later. For those who were watching the LEC yesterday, you'll notice that that guy was subbing in to cover some illness in the LEC, so he was casting the LEC with Vedius. Now, we're brothers, we cast here. Later today, folks, we are casting the LEC together. There are brothers casting the LEC. How insane is that? We last did it 2 years ago. It's a hell of a timeline. Sam and I will be casting Movistar Koi versus BDS first series of the day on the LEC stream later today. So tune into the LEC, give us some support. It really is nice to get that first impression done well. So it is your duty to make sure that people are saying nice things on Reddit and Twitter and YouTube comments before any of the annoying people get in there. They tell us that we're bad. We might be bad, but that's not the point. But yeah, it's been really cool to practice our craft here, doing LPL. Yeah, it's really cool to get the opportunity to do something like this. We love the LPL, it's great gameplay, I love the players, I love the stories. And in games like this too, you know, this is a deciding match. You know, if LGD win, Top Esports don't make playoffs for the first time that I can ever remember. Jakilov will have missed playoffs for the first time in his career. Now, is it likely? No, of course it's not likely. Top Esports are a good team. Jakilov is a great player. But still, it's important to be here for these moments. And, you know, what happens if in a split or two for now these players from LGD end up doing something like TT did to BLG, right? Like, I have watched TT for years. I've actually low-key supported TT for years. I support multiple teams. I'm a little bit wishy-washy like that, but I love TT. I think they're a great team. And you know what they did to BLG, maybe LGD could do that someday. There have been, I mean, I love the LGD Haichao roster. I think the Haichao LGD roster was really fun. About a year, was that a year or 2 years ago now? It was a while ago. But I really enjoyed that. What's my peak, Nymaera? Diamond 1. I was Diamond 1 peaker, but that was back in 2019, 2020. So that was when the rank meant a little bit more, I think. Maybe I'm coping with that. But no, I never reached Masters, which is kind of annoying for me. But I peaked playing Quinn, and Quinn is now really meta, so I was thinking maybe I start playing again just to abuse Quinn buffs. Quinn is very strong right now. Very, very strong. There's like an electrocute hubris Quinn build, which is insane. Paid chapter time? Yeah, if Mecha wants to pay you by giving you subs, yeah. That's actually the payment for Mecha sub bombs, you know. Actually, no, that's probably just us doing good casting. That's normally what the deal is. Well, folks, we'll be getting onto the stage soon. I believe this will be in Shanghai, because we have ourselves 2 neutral teams with that. Well, not the neutral teams, but yeah. So happy Nidalee is being used again. Says nothing but Nidalee. Well, that's a very topical name. Hey, welcome to the channel, by the way. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, I think that Nidalee has actually been much better this year than last year, too. Last year, it felt like Nidalee would fall off, you didn't get enough value, you couldn't get much. There was a great game yesterday. Did you see the game yesterday where IG, I think it was game 2, Zyra chose to dive a turret, Nidalee chose to keep farming, and the dive took so long that Nidalee got ahead in farm, got a little bit of an XP lead, and completely ran the objective game. It was really good. I love that macro. It was so good. Oh, there's YouTube membership now? Awesome. Okay, well, if you're on Onivia, folks, and you'd like to avoid adverts there and support the channel, you can become a member for Onivia's channel. Hey, Claire is so fast now. Did you see that post on Reddit where someone broke the 3-minute barrier on Nidalee, even after the nerfs on 14-14 or whatever it was? It's kind of incredible now. I can't remember which camp you have to start on. I think it's Wolves start or Raptor start. It's one of the two. I think you need an AoE camp to get the most out of it, basically.
What you yapping about?
Nidalee's clear time, because we've been joined by a chatter named Nothing But Nidalee.
Ah, is this the new Nidalee clear that's like sub 3 minutes?
Well, this is a person in Twitch chat.
Yes, so there is. Yeah, no, I've seen this one too.
That is exactly what I was referencing, Sam. Yeah, that's exactly. We're on the same page.
And it is Raptors.
Is it Raptors? Cool. I knew it was like one of the AoE camps, yeah.
Because the idea is you can it's a lot of basically you need things like Krugs to, when they split into mini Krugs, split properly and not end up like you sometimes get RNG'd wrong, where the Krugs drop in the wrong place and you don't hit level 3 or don't hit like you get messed up by not getting enough experience because the Krugs drop wrong and don't come over far enough and you have to go and reset it. But it's really nice. Right. It's like 259 clear.
Folks, we are on to the stage in Shanghai. We'll be welcoming our teams onto the stage. LGD and Top Esports today. If LGD win, they will qualify for playoffs and knock Top Esports out. Anyone's Legend was in their group and they steamrolled the group. This is our last game of regular season. And if Top Esports somehow lose, this will be the first time that Jakilov has ever missed playoffs. It has been a hot minute since we could talk a result like that. As Sassy takes a little bit of an early step forward there as LGD walk onto the stage here at Shanghai.
LGD have been an interesting team this year. I think they've got a little bit of work still to do, but we've had a few teams like that. It feels like there has been a bit of a divide between the teams that have and the teams that have not as the moment stands. And again, we are only a couple weeks in. There's been a break with Lunar New Year, and it's put things into a weird perspective in terms of where teams are at. You know, a lot of these teams will not be the same level come the end of spring, hell, come the end of summer. But right now, I feel that Top Esports should be able to handle LGD.
Zachary Thompson saying in YouTube chat, do you think this is going to be a bloody series? I think the kind words before that too. I don't know, because when you have 369 and Kanavi, a lot of the time it's much more about objective setup, it's about locking down the map and kind of playing towards your 5v5s later. There is every chance it does get bloody, but I can't always guarantee that with a team like Top Esports. Sometimes they just lock you out of the game, but we haven't really, I mean, we saw them 3-0 WE, that's all we've really seen them when it comes to that. Well, folks, that's our teams out on the stage. Let's get ourselves into our 1v1 side select. I haven't activated my drawing tooly thing.
Give me the draws.
I'm not giving you my draws.
That's very inappropriate.
Oh, how scandalous.
Oh, Quentin.
Is that Tarantino? Or?
Oh, no, I was thinking the Edam. Yeah. Tarquin was never.
It's like, wow, someone's subbing themselves into a movie for a foot scene. Yeah. Hi everyone. I can now be afraid. I can draw on the screen.
Well, can I draw on the screen, Alex?
Let me just check if I did this right. I did do that right. Sure. Go for it.
Grrr.
It doesn't last that long. Because in game it's nice to draw something and not have to worry about leaving yellow splotches on the screen. It's really nice for doing macro stuff. Do I think it'll be over 4.5 games? No, I do not. I think Top Esports, while they were beaten soundly by anyone's legend, I think they are clearly a better team than LGD to me. LGD are better than I thought they would be. There's something to be said about that too. But yeah, I think that LGD come in with a lot of rookies. They come in against a lot of veterans. And while Top Esports have downgraded from last year at the moment, I think with you know, Kanavi being a good analog to Tian, I don't think that's necessarily a downgrade, but I do think that Crisp compared to Mako in regular season is a downgrade. It's not the same kind of situation. So Top Esports there, learning to deal with that a little bit. And LGD haven't elected Sassy, their top laner, to go against 369.
Oh my days, that is a bit of a gulf in experience right there. The bans are pretty top lane focused. The Corki perhaps the one exception, but everybody's been banning Corki. Everyone when it hasn't, you get moments like Bin just walking at the turret and ending the game.
Yeah, that does happen. Okay, so a lot of these bans, I haven't read into 1v1 bans that much because, you know, I remember when it was all like Caitlyn Varus bans, Lucian bans, stuff like that. It changes when you're on the Showdown map and you start at level 3. It really does change a lot of things.
Last ban now to be decided, and yeah, I think that makes some sense. We're not on an arena map here. You've got to plan for the fact you're on an ARAM map, and you have some knockouts to manage at some point. Of course, we have seen things like Poppy, things like Lee Sin, things like Alice to be drafted for the ability to just punt people out of the Ring of Fire and go for a home run to win the game.
Better be a Skarner ban.
Oh, 369, go on.
This is the one time you won't see a Skarner ban because it's the 1v1 instead. Reminder, folks, that if you've not caught our regular season here, it'll be the last time we do this in LPL for this split. We do 1v1 for side select in regular season. In playoffs, it's due to your seeding. And then right here, it is about your 1v1 potential. So the winner of this 1v1 will get side select for game 1 for their team. After that, the loser chooses the side, and it will be 369's Mordekaiser. He brought that up a lot last year into Garant, which has been a large ban here in the 1v1s.
We have literally got the hero of Demacia versus the great evil of Noxus. This is like full-on fantasy hero v villain stuff going on. Unfortunately, I don't necessarily know what this matchup is like. My imagination is that the shield from Mordekaiser isn't going to be all that use versus Garen R unless Mord is very quick with going straight to the heal as part 2 of Indestructible.
Yeah, it's a little bit stat checky. Now, of course, Mordekaiser has to hit more skill shots. Hitting your E, getting your pass up early into the trade means an awful lot. Garen on the other side, you can take quick trades. You can get some really good consistent damage, but then the question is, you know, once you've got stuff like armor or magic resist or damage being built up, which one actually out DPSs? Mordekaiser whacking you, getting a Q, a single target Q particularly, because it's so buffed on single target rather than AoE from the smash of the mace, compared to the E, which is just really large amount of damage from Garen.
I feel like good use of the silence as well. That Q on Garen could be very, very
Thank you,
valuable
Blade.
here.
Blade's put up some prediction polls within the Twitch chat as well. And reminder,
What a
folks, we are Nymaera and Initialise. We are the Kindred of Casting, and we like to bring you some LPL every now and then. Come watch us for LPL action. So we're here onto the 1v1 for Summoner's Rift. Not Summoner's Rift, the other one.
Howling Abyss.
Howling Abyss, as we get ourselves into our 1v1.
Well, Sassy has drafted themselves the Garen, 369 has drafted themselves the Mordekaiser, and slightly different boots and stuff to here. Of course, Garen does often like the Berserker. It's been hearing from a few high elo Garen mains saying, look, actually, tank builds where you kind of go Stride Breaker, Dead Man, and have like defensive boots. It feels really good rather than the full damage one, which was a bit of a terror for a while. And actually, this Mordekaiser getting the Darkness Rising early, you said it hurts.
And the single target Q as well. So you go for the attack speed boost because it affects your E damage.
It does.
Your spin actually scales with attack speed and also can crit as well, or it does. It has a damage increase based on crit, which is why Phantom Dancer was so good on this guy for such a long time. 369, you know, he has been the Mordekaiser player within the LPL. Him and Wayward, they're the only two which really put large amounts of time into it. And 369 was really good on it last year. He used it to deal with Skarner top lane when it was
pretty obnoxious.
First reworked, and it was really obnoxious. Yeah, he gets a really good early trade. Means that Sassy's going to lose maybe a bit of farm here and there. Loses a bit of HP. It just means that 369, until Garen recalls now, is going to have pretty huge advantage.
Goes for the grasp to pull people back. And again, gets that Darkness Rising passive. Sassy having to sort of Q a minion every now and then, but it's not been an easy start, that's for sure, despite the attack speed. 369 just winning these extended trades pretty handily.
This is a really good tip to have as any laner, right? If you're winning lane, how do you lane well? Stand on your dying minions. Stand on them. Because as soon as Garen goes towards them, 369 can look towards skill shots. He gets himself a bit of damage there. Victor is a really good example of this. You just stand in your dying minions and make the enemy make a choice. Do you kill the minion? Do you kill me? Of course, it depends on the matchup a little bit. I mean, one of the great examples is, if I play against a Zed in lane, I want him queuing the minions and not auto-attacking them, rather than him queuing me. If he's queuing me, I'm taking a lot of damage. But if I can force them to choose between CS and doing damage to me, a lot of the time they still have to choose the CS, otherwise they lose gold and slowly start...
You win out anyway.
Out of lanes. This is just, you know, basic laning tips you can use all the way to the highest level of League, and 369 is doing exactly that, just standing on his wave saying, okay, you are melee, you can't exactly walk up to this, can you?
Courage being helpful here to keep Dashi topped off. Of course, Perseverance, that passive on the Garen. Very useful, keep yourself topped up in these lanes, just back away for 5 seconds, you start healing up anyway. It's actually very, very obnoxious to play a poke champion or someone with incremental trades against Garen, because you have to keep doing it.
The regen's insane. Yeah, it is. But you can see Sassy's losing CS, so it does mean that when we get through to... not that much, but it will mean there's a little bit of a discrepancy as we see down here. About 100 to 200 gold advantage. I actually brought over them, but that's pretty good. You've done a great job there. But you see, levels... Oh, I mean, the ult's been pulled out by...
Oh, an ignite. Could be a turnaround heading, but of course through the Death Realms, it's just a quick kill. Turret shot won't get the return. 369 has Indestructible to work with.
And he does. He can steal the heal from the Garen side if he wants. He pulls the ultimate, shows them the Realm of Death, gets the kill. You can get the... he might even be able to get a plate here if he wants. There's still 5 seconds on the recall from Garen. I think he gets 1 plate, goes back, recalls. He has the empowered recall because he gets the kill, I think. I think that's how it works. I'm not sure how it works on Shadowdown, but he gets a full Rift Maker. Are you kidding me?
No.
I mean, that gold difference was about 200. Now it's going to be, you know, close to like 1,000 or something with the CS lead, the plate, and the first kill.
Garen was still struggling to sustain through a lot of these extended trends. Yeah, you got the passive, but in fight means very little. He's come back with a Tunneler, that's it, versus the full Rift Maker. That is tricky, and the move speed boots, they're lovely. We know obviously they stack well with the Judgment, the E on the Garen, but you're not able to run that far away if you're caught in a little playpen.
But look at this, just activates the passive, and, you know, yes,
Can't
you can...
silence that.
Yeah, and, you know, he's walking forward, but after you get hit by that E, you've already given him 1 tick of the ability to get his passive up. This Rift Maker starts ticking in terms of you need to wait a few seconds before it activates the Omnivamp and the increased damage. You know, if you get hit by a straight E, your trade is just lost. Same kind of stuff like this. I mean, and he tanks it up with a W, happy to do so. He'll be able to wait out until his next W cooldown. 369, great 1v1ing, and Sassy's has been hit by too many skill shots.
Has a little hit. Now just standing there, farming minions away, denying Sassy access. We'll begin to heal up a little bit again now with that passive, but 369 can look for another one of those big pulls and look to go from there.
Just stand
There's
on the
another
dying
one.
minions.
Oh,
He just stands
so
on it
hard.
again. And yes, a better trade for Garen this time as he doesn't get hit by the E. But yeah, 369 still gets the passive up and just doing the same thing over again. Just eking out small advantages in the way that only really top laners do. You realize like 10 minutes of the game, oh, how much CS am I down? That's not great.
There's not a lot Sassy can do about this. The discrepancy in terms of items is really rough here.
Oh, losing another minion to there too. The observers in the LPL, they are quite savage. As another one hits, gets the passive up, tanks the tower shot with that, and I mean the Rift Maker damage. It stacks up to what, 8%, something like that, and then 8 or 10%. It's a lot. And now he's just gonna be able to bonk the tower once if he wants to too. Get another plate potentially. I mean, he's just so happy with this.
Keep landing these obliterates as well, and Sassy down to a third HP. There's the Realm of Death available to 369 to bring Garen into a 1v1. He really doesn't want right now.
Gets to cancel the recall too. I don't think we're at Ring of Fire just yet. Reminder, folks, if it goes to the Ring of Fire, the next kill wins. Even though Mordekaiser got the first one, if Sassy can get that kill after the Ring of Fire comes in, can still win the 1v1. Hard to do that though when you're down in XP, down in HP, down in gold by a lot as well.
Gives you those obliterates. Indestructibles, the tower shot, often a nice thing you can do as the Mordekaiser when you're looking for that poke under turret. Another reset comes on through, but that's another play.
Has a full Shojin, but I mean, hang on, wait, can you just kill the whole turret? Because the other way you win the 1v1 is by destroying the turret.
That thing's gonna
Garen's
die.
running back. I don't think that Garen can kill him in time. I think you could just, I mean, he might be able to clear the wave. He has to clear the wave. And he does do as well. Now 369 needs to make the choice. Does he get a recall off? Can Sassy stop him from recalling? This might have been an overstay from 369.
He's got 2,500 gold in inventory. He does need to go spend that, you'd hope. But if Garen can interrupt him, it's going to be a nightmare.
Is he looking just to kill the tower? He's not looking to recall. He might just try and kill the tower. But Garen does have wave clear. He's getting a bit indecisive here, actually. 369 might have made a mistake. The Ring of Fire is coming in, and it is now even HP to even HP. Yes, level down, but without so much gold on the Mordekaiser, 369 might have just overstayed.
I mean, the gold discrepancy doesn't matter. 2,500 of it isn't spent. Yes, you've got the level, and that's nice. You're still in a decent spot here, but
3,000 gold in inventory. If you win with this 369, you really deserve it. Misses the E.
Still gets the Darkness Rising, goes into the Death Realm now. I think Sassy's just dying horribly! He doesn't need it! He doesn't need it! He doesn't care about the ultimate and Sassy! You could be as sarky and sassy as you like. 369 rolls 9 and does the business with his big bonking mace.
I mean, if you get a 1v1 where you've got 3,000 gold in inventory, you really deserve that 1v1.
That is silly.
You really deserve that. 369 gets side select for top esports. And Sassy kind of dog walked a little bit there.
Yeah.
Ever since the first trades of the game, it did not look particularly pretty. We'll take the players will have a quick break on stage, just a minute or two, and then we'll get into our champion select for game 1. Top esports choose blue side. Everyone in the LPL is basically choosing blue side. We've seen 1 or 2 games of red, but really it has been much like mirroring the global standard. Choose blue side. It's much easier to play around the bans.
It's the Cassante picking simulator.
Yeah.
What's the meme in the LPL at the minute?
If you lose with first pick Cassante, we think you're bad.
Yeah.
And if you lose without a Khan, we think you're bad. If you lose with both, we kind of lose all hope.
There's no hope for you,
Yeah. And the meme actually came from this group, and I think it was WE versus LGD, because WE got first pick Cassante, and they also got Atacon, and they lost that game. One of the reasons why WE ended up leaving this group stage without a single game win. A single game win.
It's mental. And it wasn't pretty either, unfortunately. WE, there's a lot to be left to be desired on that one.
Just casting in a weather out over at the LCK playoffs. It could be going to a game 5 there as well to Genji HLE. Fiora super strong, but the rest of the team very far behind. Canyon Karth is kind of going crazy. And Ruler currently 4,500 gold up on Viper. Jesus Christ. I love watching
very low damaged game 3.
I really like watching Ruler versus Viper again.
It's
Man.
fun.
That stuff is so insane. Anyway, folks, that'll end at some point. You come join us here to watch some LPL.
Yes. LPL. Excitement. Yeah. We've got game 1 coming up. Isn't that going to be fun?
Poltac saying, sportsmanship right there. 369 doesn't recall, so it's a 1 item versus 1 item match. You know, I think you've nailed it. 369. What a sportsman he is. Look at that face.
By sports, you mean someone who really wants to rub it in when they win, like really get into the head and break their opponent's mantle.
Yeah.
That is the kind of sportsman we're talking about here. This is basketball drama, unhinged Reddit stories levels of I want to make you cry.
Well, we're into the draft. Also, I'd like to throw a quick shout out to Steroid Brucey. Thank you so much for the sub, helping us continue what we're doing. This is our last game of the regular season in LPL Split 1 2025. It will be top esports for LGD to determine who goes through as second seed from Group A. Anyone's Legend qualified first from this group, and we get ourselves into the first draft. Blue side picked by top esports after they won the 1v1.
I think the bans here are all relatively standard ones. Skarner and Bessa Varus are champions that are just very strong and very fair weather at the minute, I think it's fair to say. Does feel like things like the Rumble as well, understandably banned out. Means you probably don't have to ban a Galio or anything here. Aurora up and available, still very strong. Of course, we are still on 25.1.2, not 0.3, or whatever the nomenclature is. So things like Mel, still globally disabled as yet, will be changing after this game, of course. We just want to make sure we finished all the group stage games on the same patch, so everyone was playing the same amount of games on the same patch, just for fairness sake. Galio still banned, though, despite the fact that Rumble's taken for the table, just strong enough by itself they don't have to deal with it. LGD, last ban for them to think about. Callista is up and available, be risky to give over to top esports.
Would do. I think with the Rumble ban, I'm surprised that the Galio ban comes out after the Rumble ban. However, this is something which I've been theorizing about. If you want to have the Rumble later into the draft, say if LGD ban the Rumble here and the Galio's unbanned as the Callista's picked in, you could pick the Galio yourself and mean that next time you're on blue side, you have the threat of the Rumble without the Galio answer, because there's only really one champion which answers the Rumble. I know it's not relevant to what's happening in the picks here. We have the Ashe, which somewhat answers the Callista. I'm surprised actually after the Varus ban that Callista wasn't banned on 3, because I feel like the Varus is the answer to the Callista. The Ashe is fine, but it doesn't answer in the same way anymore because Callista scales up so much more quickly with the attack speed. I think Jace is a great matchup into the Cassante. Callista Renata, very hard to beat, and also if you pick Braum now, you really hate that, so you probably don't want to go for Ashe Braum. Top esports I think have got a really solid first 3 picks here.
Because LGD very clearly decided to give the Callista through, and they very swiftly responded with the Ashe and the Cassante. They get the Cassante away, which is normally the first pick on the other side. It's pretty big for Sassy, as you kind of noted. But I think the Renata, rather than something like the Nico, has meant that they can't go towards one, but it is going to lock in the Seraphine. It does still feel like Ashe Seraphine could theoretically handle the much shorter range Callista Renata, especially early on, because the slows from one set up the route for the other. Callista hates slows in general because it affects how often she can attack. So I see the theory here. It's just a bold strategy, Colin. We'll have to see whether it pays out.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know the specifics of the Ashe Seraphine lane, it is leverage around Seraphine's E mechanics. So typically when you're just playing Seraphine, you cast one E and it will slow them. Then if you do the double up of it, it'll slow them and then it will root them. What happens with the coding of this, though, if the target is already slowed, it already bumps it up to a root. So Ashe auto-attacks, they're slowed, the Seraphine E hits, they're rooted, and if you then double do it, and they're already rooted, they get stunned instead, so they can't even attack you back. So Ashe Seraphine, just as a duo, are very, very obnoxious from a very long range away. You get the volley into that E, which is not the beat drop, it's the other thing. Can't remember.
Beat drop is the E.
Oh,
so
which one's the Q then?
Q is high note.
I thought
and then W is surround sound.
I knew that one. And then the ult is obviously Encore. I couldn't remember the passive. I thought passive was the high note. Anyway, I'm bad with that. Either way, justice for the Bracken. As we go later into our draft, top lane and bot lane, well, potentially top lane locked in. The Jace can be flexed around. What are our options? We don't have that much engage right now in terms of a team fight wide. Aside from top esports, they have a lot of range, they have a lot of damage. Need something to facilitate that. Do they go Zyra Yone? Play something. You need engage from somewhere, and you also need magic damage. Most of your engage, it's easier to find with someone like a Yone in that mid lane. But if you do that, you don't want to pick full AD into a Cassante. Kanavi is a pretty good player of someone like the Nidalee too, if you want to go Nidalee. Either way, you need some magic damage. Cream has played so many more mages. That's very different.
Okay.
Very, very different. Olaf
Into
potentially
Cassante,
going into Cassante and putting the Jace mid for Cream. Unless it's an Olaf jungle and we've got something different. I've not seen an Olaf jungle in a while. This is some
theoretically good into Shinzao.
Now we have to wait and see what actually is locked in here. Because if it is an Olaf jungle, there's a lot of questions about what the value of that is. And it does look like an Olaf jungle. This champion has been nerfed specifically for jungle for years on years now. Because he was so good at clearing jungle regardless of the HP he was on. In fact, if you got lower HP, he was better at clearing. To the point where some Olafs in seasons ago would take a tower shot and then try and use it to clear your jungle faster. They do get themselves the AD and the AP. Their engage is still very lacking. This game is about brutalizing lane. Brutalizing lane, let the Olaf run rampant. Because if you do get to an even game state, LGD's comp, especially with Ashe's Ear, is so much easier to play.
And I'm also looking at this, and you've got Renata and Orianna to be enchanters for Olaf. Because the last time we saw Olaf meta, I'm thinking people like Blabber over on Cloud9, having things like Lulu behind him, and really popping off because Olaf with steroids is a lot scary, even when you do get low HP. Having your wild growth, your shields, all those things are valuable. And in this game, he's got a bailout. He's got the command protect, the shockwave on top of him. That's a lot of tools to make sure this Olaf can get into a fight and stay there for longer, which is very valuable.
Yeah, I mean, if you have Renata Orianna both on you for the movement speed, the shields, the survival, that is
rough.
When Olaf was played in jungle in the past, it always was about that. We saw Olaf, Lulu, and exactly so much of this stuff, right? And you've probably mentioned some of that already, and I completely just
I was chatting about Blabber and the Olaf Lulu back when it was
hell, folks, we saw a Lulu Shinzao just the other day, and you know, Shinzao's not that dissimilar to Olaf in terms of I'm going in, and then I'm staying in and hope that I stay alive. LGD, they have a lot of blunt force trauma to overcome in the early game and in the laning phase to make something work of this. Please welcome everyone to the Rift as we get ourselves into our first game of the day of our last series of regular season here in the LPL.
Eyes on two slightly different drafts. Top Esports all about making sure Kanavi can be valuable on this Olaf. The engage, a little limited, but the brawling, the ability to just run at people and say, I'll have that. Pretty damn good. LGD, you've got Shinzao Cassandre to extend an encore range. That's not a bad little engage combo in and of itself. Got those backline threats, the Ashe, the Azir, pumping up the consistent damage. Trying to manage this Kalista lane with the duo they've drafted in. LGD pull it off. They're going up against a team that theoretically should be coming out of this group pretty handily. If Top Esports don't make playoffs, well, that's a different story instead. Jayo's ring out. We'll let them take it.
This is interesting. Already, there's stuff to talk about. As we see, if you look up on the minimap, Jace placed that ward, because Sansei actually saw them place that ward. Bot lane walked up to this brush too. Now, that is for two things. One, either baiting LGD into thinking that Top Esports were going for standard lanes, or to secure the bush vision for the Jace versus Cassandre matchup. The early level 1 invade though from LGD, especially when you've got the double up ability from Seraphine at level 1, powerful from LGD to get some vision of their own. I want to see who wins this mind game, because you can see here, oh, does he kill it? Hypercharge level 1, kills that. Well, that's important. The more information you get at level 1, the better it is to track your lane swaps. I think Top Esports might want to escape the Ashe Seraphine, but I'm not certain.
Also worth noting, of course, because Shaya actually got a ward kill himself. That can mean you hit the level 2 that little bit faster. It does look like they want a late lane swap. Kanavi's roamed in, for Sassy out. They're starting out on the Raptors there as well is the Olaf. So we'll be splitting the map and setting up that lane swap. 369 in mid lane. Claims a minion, how dare he? You're not allowed gold. That's not how top laners work in lane swaps.
I think bringing your mid lane your top lane is too mid lane to do this. It's such a cheat code when it comes to, well, it's why so many teams do it, but it's so important in our lane swaps because it allows you to assess the map just a little bit quicker before committing to a side lane and putting yourself into a very easily dived situation. 369 now going to go up towards the strong side of the map and not go down towards the bottom side. He'll get himself towards a bit of XP. Don't think he really ever wants to teleport under that bot lane turret. Cassandre is going towards the same thing there. Both top laners hit level 2. They go towards their respective strong sides of the map. Gain a little bit more in terms of XP. A big patch change which affected this was after MSI last year, so coming into the summer split. Shared XP was increased which was meant to say, oh, well, you know, it's better for duo lanes and so they don't fall behind the game like that. It's also better for lane swaps too. If you group up as 3 or 4 people on a turret dive, like as you know, as you can see on both sides of the map right now, everyone gets a little bit more XP, which means that top lane has reached level 3 a little quicker. It's really important for these lane swap calculations.
And it feels like Jace and maybe a couple of our carry top laners are still around and about. Your Ambassadors, your Rumbles, your Jaces, there are still a number about, but they tend to be the ones that you can find ways to navigate through a lane swap. For Ambassadors, the fact that she can get to level 2 and suddenly dash about 30,000 times and outplay a lane swap. Jace with the grasp, actually much better at surviving than he would be in another scenario. You've got a few of those options in 369, getting some plates of his own up here.
And also,
really valuable.
melee demolish, man. 2 plates already. That's really important because one of the things about lane swaps is you want to put top laners behind the map. Even if top laners are still in the same place where they would be against each other, they're behind the rest of the map,
Yeah,
getting some plates in here. Yeah, exactly, and that's an important thing. That's one of the reasons. I know there's been some conversation about, well, can you play carries in lane swaps? You can, but you just have to expect that they're not going to be the same level as a mid laner all the time. They're not going to be the same level even as a jungler for bits of the early game, and that can force you into really bad situations. Of course, there are champions like Jax which break that rule because he does everything for a while, but still, yeah, the stuff like the Jace going towards the tank build means that even if you're slightly behind the game, you still have the HP to survive those situations, and that's why we do see a lot of our more traditional carry champions going grasp, stacking a bit more HP than they normally would do, and just make up the difference in the tankiness they've lost.
Xiaoya and YCX going to be in this bot lane, but of course they are down that level. A level 3 Kalista Renata, pretty scary here. Not, of course, that Ashe is necessarily requiring the level 3. All it gets her is a hawk shot, and that's not the greatest for the one for the 2v2. It's good for tracking.
We saw an LCK series the other day. I think it was the Tier 1 Initialise series where an Ashe started Hawkshot level 1 to get jungle information. They ended up still doing okay at the level 1 too because it was still like
Ashe autos are
an Ashe
annoying,
Braum or something. So even without the volley, it was nasty as heck. But yeah, we did actually see that, which I was very surprised at. But hey. New tag, I like that stuff.
In competitive play, it makes sense. It's a lot more valuable than it is in solo queue because vision matters a whole lot more when you're on comms. It just does. In a way that in solo queue, vision is a little more hit and miss depending on who's paying attention to the map at any given moment.
Early objectives. Do we have anything to talk about that? Dragon started by Olive. Olive, one of the better early Dragon takers in the game. Kalista, Renata, winning out a little bit in CS versus Xiaoya, and YCX's Ashe Seraphine as well. They haven't really gotten what they want. Climate is here. Kanavi's half HP. This could be a winning fight because the advantage from the Zhao W hits. Do they go for the fight? Dangerous going into Renata, especially with the Kalista stood just behind them. Good warding from LGD gives them the bonus there. However, Climber was spotted on the ward by his Gromp. The 2 recall stops.
Ooh, that's annoying. What is that going to give on the map? Climber just going back to the clear. I can understand that has already got a nice reset off of the tunneler, so can actually just get a bit ahead of the curve and maybe get over towards grubs that will be spawning in 5-6 seconds. You can see Seraphine roaming up already. Looks like probably the full clear from Climber saying, look, I'm going to join my Seraphine. We're heading towards the grubs right now as another big demolish prop.
I mean, like, you can see why Jace has been so prioritized. You can't do anything against this guy because, you know, look, 369 has been a Jace player for all of his career. He came onto the scene by playing Jace and playing carries. It's a very different version now, but seeing the 1v1, which was a part that was lacking of his game last year, actually. His 1v1 was actually not that great comparative to his history. But his Jace has been one of his better picks, and just knowing how to get the most out of that turret, gets to level 6 before Sassy can do as well. Not that it matters for Jace, but just the fact that the Cassante's not level 6 for this grub fight really hurts LGD. Toppies was want to use this early advantage. They will get outscaled, but if they get their objectives like this and they get their advantages, they're still very happy.
Love top esports. Pathing there into the river. Not to mix out esports metaphors, but control of banana is always valuable whatever game you're playing, and shout out to the Counter-Strike community out there. They know what they're talking about, and that is a really important push to have a ward in, basically.
You know, I don't watch that much Counter-Strike. I still miss Cobblestone because I remember...
That was so cool. I remember IP doing crazy things on that.
I remember Get Right. Get Right's Cobblestones were very good. Even I know about that. 369 left alone under this turret that is just about to level 6 hit by the Ashe, and that's where things get spooky. 369 knows he is on a ward, does he?
Oh, blocks.
Well, he does get some HP away from Climate. Not much else he can do with that, though. Turret's going to be focused down here. On the other side, Jackal Crisp are cross-mapping. They have the Kalista Renata without their level 6 themselves. They will lose first turret at this rate, though, despite the good work that was being put down by 369. LGD in the lane swap earlier. already put down a lot of damage. Saying that though, LGD are not actually doing that much hitting of the tower, rather denying minions so far.
Sassy eats a big chunk there, and Kanavi around. I think Sassy's about to have a very unfortunate dive occurring, and they have spent way too long here playing for that turret. I think they just say we want to deny as many minions as we can. As you said, they are happy to lose the turret in trade. Split of the screens shows the dives occurring on both sides. Sassy trying to go all out, does so, but there's a handshake that hits him mid-dash. Sassy has the spears pulled out. Did not enjoy the acupuncture session and goes down. YCX out on the other side. 369 still under threat. There is a Echo available. Gets the double surround sound shield to bait 369 into flashing forwards. XQW in the mid lane and a spot of bottom of Cream. Not gonna get hit by the Emperor's Divide. Couldn't find an angle to sweep him back under turret.
Oh, XQW pushes him forwards and away. Shockwave was used by Cream to chunk him out. I think Cream's one out on that one. And yes, 369 ends up dying, but he does get more minions for it, and he defends the first turret a little longer. So first turret picked up by Topius was first blood picked up by the Callista 2. Not that it's extra gold, but it's still a kill towards the AD carry as opposed to the jungler, which I think Topius will take. The gold advantage isn't going to be that crazy, but I am liking what Top Esports are doing in the micro play. They just need to find one way to pull a white play ahead from this game. They have the 3 grubs. They'll be looking to get 6 out to this point. Let's think about some of the more important things about this tower dive. 369 jumps in, of course, wants to get as much of a chunk out as he possibly can, but this is the Seraphine, the single, he gets the root instead. Have the arrow beyond that point. This is going well at this point, and then let's not take turret shots. That's where things get a bit spooky. That, I don't know whether that kills them base damage. Maybe. It gets pretty close, I think. They still have the heal. They still have the surround sound. And yeah, you were absolutely right in calling that. What the hell happened there?
I think maybe he was just out of range and got knocked up by 3 Talon Strike.
I actually missed what happened there. This is the problem with me not wearing headphones. I would have liked a sound cue, but I have no idea.
There wasn't any. That was the weird
Chat,
thing.
if anyone could tell me why you just randomly stopped moving, you'd save my casting career right now.
That would be nice. I didn't hear a sound cue. So maybe someone out back there might know.
He might, I mean, I didn't see an icon above his head, but also I might just be blind. Because normally you see the CC above his head.
It might have been just minion block.
He wasn't, he might have just been minion block. That would have
looked like
been
he was wiggling a bit awkwardly
weird.
there.
I'd have to, I'm going to load up my own stream and see whether I can find a replay for it. Sam, take over the cast.
Yeah, there wasn't any sound cue for the icon on them, so we'll see whether we can find out. VAR is on it. Got a 90% success rate here in the LPL, which means, of course, the League Premier League. This is Manchester City versus Arsenal, and as we all know, North Rift is red, and therefore LGD are winning this game.
I don't think he was CC'd by it.
Yeah, I think it was just minion block.
I think that was just minion block.
Yep.
It wasn't a 3 Talon Strike. Shinzo
Came
was
out just
not
after,
there.
yeah.
So he walks forwards. There's no CC there.
Yeah.
No, he just flashes and then does nothing.
Maybe he was waiting on a cooldown, maybe he went too early.
Very odd, very odd.
Surely he was in range for Into the Skies.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely it was. It's a fairly long ritual. Banana control. I mean, Kanavi.
Eat your fruits.
You can't fire. What's it like?
Demercia is actually what he says.
You can't report me. My dad owns a company. He actually has voice like that goes on to the Olaf.
Boy.
He does have the Olaf if he wants to ignore it. Chooses not to. Ash Arrow eaten up for free, and if Olaf goes back onto a camp, he'll heal up
quite
fairly well.
Yeah.
Now, LGD need to use this time while the Olaf is healing to go onto the grubs. LGD
Starting up.
don't have the Ash ults. Do top esports want to force anything more? I think they do. I think they do really want to, especially without that Ash ult. They should really look for something.
Santi looking to body block. Crisp into the backhand will force the back of the Azir, who shuffles 2 away. The hostile takeover, though, only claims Xin Zhao. Seraphine right at the end caught with it. The shock blast after, though, empowered by the gate, will bring YCX down to about half HP. The other side, though, top esports a little dicey on their own health bars. Cream gets a good chunk on XQW's, trying to zone up on the side. About to be jumped by the Fates Call. Needs to get over the wall and does. Crisp gets the handshake, not too much more. Xiaoye steps on forward, begins to hit an auto or two with the ranger's focus. Surrounds that. People healthy. Big heal. They get the encore across so many, though. Welcome to the end of the show. But into the back with 369, but to the skies means nothing as he jumps instead into a 6-foot hole for at least 20 seconds. Jackie Love and Crisp ran away with the heal, but the slows with the ranger's focus and their approach velocity means Crisp. Cream rather, and Jackie Love, as I repeat a name twice for no apparent reason. Handshake is decent, gets a big chunk to show you barriers. Flash for a beat drop, gets the slow onto Crisp, the airy block and a volley. Climber now looking to go on forwards, the command distance giving a speed up. Cream needs to be aware. Just about in date for now is the mid lane. Assassi has teleported, they want Jackie as well. Jackie! As I yell about the Jackie Chan adventures from many years ago. What a wonderful moment.
Climber also dies while you're talking about that, by the way. Cream kills him on the return of that. Very low play around the grubs. Top Esports gets 4, but they don't really win the fight. The fight really goes against them. I actually wonder whether Cream misplayed with his shockwave around it. And we were saying that LGD outscale. Top Esports are now behind in gold. Yes, they do have the grubs, but this composition, as we saw around those grubs, is not that easy to play. Watch through this again, right? They actually managed to catch out XQW. This shockwave to me is a huge mistake. They don't catch it onto the right people. It goes onto Azir instead. That's a very different scenario. I think Cream and the rest of the team choose different targets. Not the best from that. The volleys get a huge amount of value. And by the time we start this play, you normally expect, Jace, poke, that's going to be great. It's actually the Seraphine and the Ashe which have come ahead from that. And yeah, there is a grub steal at the end, so Kanavi gets the fourth one there, but he's not tank enough to make a play like this. 1v5 basically from the backline, and of course, already. Gets knocked into the Encore as Jackie by the Xin Zhao ultimate. Not a great team fight from Top Esports from start to finish.
And the Olaf kind of ran in and realized that people were being shielded so much by the Seraphine the entire time as well. So at least 2 surround sounds.
And as we were talking about other things off screen, just turns out Creep just hits another QW, kills the dude. Like, what's he gonna say? Close as hell. If that happens half a second later, Cream gets hit with the second part of the wind becomes lightning, and he dies.
Yeah.
Kill there though, spares the blushes just a tiny bit. Okay, Dragon up in 30 seconds. Top Esports, I think they have to go back to playing either heavy side lane through Jace or objective stacking. They tried to go for the grubs for the objective stacking. They got slapped a little bit. What is the play now, Top Esports?
Also note that there is a Blade of the Rune King fully completed for Jackie Love, whereas Ashe has actually split the build a little bit here. He's got a Zeal and a BF sword and a Cull, so delaying the power spike a little bit here just for some of those more important components and the delayed investment of a Cull. Should still be LGD in command of the river though, and Top Esports, I don't know how freely you get to walk in here. Kanavi about to be jumped, the B-drop lands, and Ragnarok popped, Shockwave is decent, the heal is enough to keep Climber alive. Redemption lives up to its name.
And LGD once again approach the objective better. Top Esports, they lock in this Olaf, which I had questions with in the first place. Why not go for a Jax into the Xin Zhao? Why not go for something else like that, which is a little bit easier to play and has the easier to play CC? Walks up, doesn't have a way out. Arrow now hits onto Crisp. He doesn't have a cleanse. They're going to start walking up to him. The Cholesterol will save their skin. But LGD walk away with a kill. They walk away with Dragon, and they walk away with a slight increase to their gold lead. The only thing which Top Esports is winning in right now is top lane. They are losing with the Kalista lane against the Ashe Seraphine. The Ashe, Xiaoye, a player which I've criticized a lot for not really standing up when it meant the most. Currently 1,000 gold ahead.
It's a huge deal here. It's a Jackie Love of all players. Well, Xiaoye, solid in the LDL, good team fighter, but the laning was sometimes a bit questionable, and he hasn't had the easiest step up to LPL. The criticism has unfortunately been somewhat deserved. I think YCX getting a bit of a shout out here. Understandable too. That redemption there kept the Xin Zhao alive. You don't have that, it's really problematic, and 105 involved in everything that LGD have done so far has made a big deal because that has given you the early Enchanter item lead over Crisp, and when you're giving big surround sounds, when you've got the heal, when you've got the early redemption as well, it's really hard to win the kind of drain tank 1v1s when it's backed up by all of that additional empowerment from those enchanters. It's all of that soft power, so to speak.
First item Phantom Dancer for Xiaoye. I've not seen that before. First item Phantom Dancer for the Ashe. Herald's being started up. Top Esports, they are down in gold. They are snatching and grabbing a little bit of this objective. They haven't locked down the area necessarily. Climber doesn't get the steal. Do they look for a fight? Top Esports get the Herald. I don't think they're looking for a fight themselves right now. LGD do have the inside track on mid lane though, because as we said, Top Esports kind of rushed this setup. They rushed down the objective, but they might get poked on their way back to defending mid lane. Ashe Arrow goes in, and that would definitely help.
It's onto Kanavi, is not forced to Ragnarok yet, holds his nerve, eats a bit of damage, but it's not actually all that serious. Climber though is very deep now, needs to be a bit aware, as then comes the Ragnarok, and Kanavi sees a moment. Sassy has to place footwork out rather. LGD, a little bit awkward. There is 369ers just shoving away onto a tier 2.
Yeah, that's important because of the awkward retreat of Climber, making a messy mistake there to go back to the mid lane turret, well, through the top lane esports mid lane turret. He's the 369, gets himself up towards this. He'll take it. 700 gold. He'll absolutely take that and trade for 1 life. Now, Top Esports, the important thing is not what's happening here. This will be a death. Where's the other players on the map moving? They're pushing out mid lane with Kalista. Orianna's pushing out bot lane. That's the more important stuff. LGD will need to answer bot lane at some points.
And okay, 0 and 3 on the Jace. Not pretty for 369. One of those was a dive, obviously. One of those was just in trade for the 700 gold. Those are, as far as I'm concerned, good death. The one of the team fights, less so. But he's 1,500 gold ahead and near enough 40 CS too. He's having a good game. Can it mitigate, though, the rest of the map being in a very dire scenario? Particularly this Kalista, who is not having a great time.
Yeah, that Kalista is not going to be able to hop, skip, and jump their way into a victory quite so easily this game. It's going to be a difficult game for Topius. It's a difficult game in general because they're not dealing with a team that's diving into them that much, actually. You'd think, oh, Shinzao, Kazante, they'll dive into us. Well, don't have to. Azir, Seraphine, Ashe. Yeah, outrange you. Kalista needs to find a way to jump forward, somehow deliver those spears into the right place. Top Esports taking that inner turret goal for the Jace, I think does give them the win condition. An important part of this is going towards the Black Cleaver and the Muramana. This is going to be a higher damage Jace. And look, 369 is 0-3 and 0. He is still the win condition at this point. He needs to get himself to Black Cleaver, which is likely to be the item coming up next, and somehow win 3 side lanes. I don't think Top Esports win another way.
I'm also then looking at this game and saying this was a first pick Kalista. LGD let it through. That was the champion that is needing permabanned. They let through, and Jackie Love is a great player of Kalista historically. LGD had an answer. They said, we think we can play into this. Here's what we've got into it. And so far, it's delivering. They have managed to get this actual point where the Kalista is struggling. They've got a composition that Kalista isn't going to enjoy in the mid game. And you know what Kalistas need to do. They need to win lane. They need to get early objectives, and they've got some objectives, but they certainly haven't won an early game.
Yeah, Dragon spawning in under a minute, so is Atakan. Of course, if one bit fight goes really badly wrong for LGD, that's Atakan gone, and we have a very different conversation. Seeing something in chat as well from Poltak talked about, isn't Yuntal a better first item from Ashe? Typically it is. However, in this game, with 0 engage on the side of Top Esports, if you have enough move speed to run away from that Olaf with the Seraphine W as well, you feel pretty good. This could be a bit of a bad teleport. Ashar comes in, goes onto the Olaf. Does he pop his ult as well? The tower's going to die. This could be a fight for Top Esports. They're looking to retreat right now.
TP number 2 goes through. Sassy has to back away. The Redemption's not in the best spot. The Shockwave leads to the death of the top laner. Crisp surviving for now. Now 369 has to flash in trade himself, and LGD tried to play around that turret and misexecute.
Yeah, LGD really misexecute the tower defense, and that's such a shame because they were in a really good map lockdown state where they could answer all the lanes. Felt like they were slowly out scaling, and Top Esports were the ones who really needed to find inroads away from the team fights. To get an easy turret, they get an easy kill because Sassy misjudges his own tankiness and teleports in too early. That is suddenly going to be turret, dragon, kill. Delay on LGD getting their scaling through. LGD will go up towards the Atakan now, but Top Esports have the first play really sold.
The thing is, they have no control of the river. They got one water. Jackie has to flash, but it's all a bait. Holds his nerve, and SQW finds the pick. Well played from the mid laner of LGD.
But clearly, Jackie Love knows Atakan is being threatened, and he puts out the Sentinel knowing that there is a threat of something else, but he just doesn't quite get the positioning right. SQW punches him as he goes to check. Now, no Kalista. LGD gonna walk in. They will have the numbers advantage. However, going up against an Atakan shreds your resists. You don't have the Azir ult this time. A good enough shockwave could still save Top Esports.
It's back. They can look to play it. 369 beginning to land some poke. Down to 4,000 HP. There is a smite available. Can Kanavi get an arrow onto the backline? Onto the Grim Encore! Comes across. Olaf down for the count, and Olaf finds himself in towards Valhalla, where he wanted to go all along, and they've got themselves the withdrawals. LGD find themselves back in the driver's seat after a slip up around that dragon.
What a roller coaster. Top Esports take a great fight around the mid turret. I didn't think they'd be able to get. LGD find a pick afterwards, and suddenly the game I feel like is massively back in their favor. Again, LGD, if they get towards their scaling, they're feeling really happy, and the biggest part of that now is their damage is massively online.
Huge.
Infinity Edge and a Phantom Dancer for that, awesome. Jackalov knows there's a threat here. He maybe could have delayed the flash and tried to react flash the Azir ult, but of course the Azir having his flash too. It's a bit of a fake one to ruler scenario, really. Kanavi has shields. I wonder whether he should have got the bailout. I don't know what happened there. I think bailout might have been the answer. Doesn't come through from the Renata. I don't know whether it was on cooldown. It is a long cooldown. Now Kanavi's quad out again. Does have flash. Can potentially turn it around. Of course, Atakan shield revive will definitely help. The withdrawals, rather. LGD starting to take over the jungle. Top Esports, man. This is not the game they expected to be playing.
Of course, because Ashe has gone towards the PD into the Infinity Edge. Well, that's a lot of early crit. A lot of early crit. And that just improves your slows, improves your damage on autos. Remember, Ashe doesn't crit like a normal AD carry. She just gets more slows and more average damage. But again, you're into so many champions that are hating slows or need to close the range. Shockwave is good onto Xiaoye, but now X2W in the backline finds a phenomenal Emperor's Divide. Jackula, but a bailout will not find the respite he's looking for. XQW takes another win as he goes Kanavi, trying on the other side to claim some withdrawals, but the heals from YCX are so annoying. Ragnarok times out, and instead it's the end of days for Kanavi.
And while all this is happening, Jace is split pushing again, getting a side lane turret. An important note, by the way, against the bailout, if you get a withdrawal, the bailout doesn't trigger because you don't kill someone.
Huge.
So even if they had taken someone down, it wouldn't have necessarily gotten the actual revive, just keeps them alive a little longer. 369 took down another inner turret. He's been playing smoke and mirrors. He's going to die again and go to 0-4 and 0. His kills are not in champions, they're in towers instead. He'll die slowly and surely. And LGD find themselves 13 kills to 3 against top esports.
And I get it, I do. 369 said, look, I've claimed this turret, I'm not getting out there, I'm going to try and deal with this wave in mid best I can. Yes, he's died, but he has, despite that scoreline, been the thing that's kept top esports from completely falling behind in this game. They are actually still a dragon ahead. They are actually still within touching distance of the goal. It's just plays like this where it feels like LGD are struggling.
I think Cream's had a pretty solid game, you know.
Yeah.
However, SQW, 2 crucial shuffles in a row after a difficult early game, has really put things into LGD's advantage. If it does end up being a game win for them, it's largely through those Azir picks. Pick onto Jackula, pick here onto the defending members of that turret. It's really set up LGD for success.
Oh, that Uncle just showing Cream who backsteps in time, but he's not here to do damage.
And of course, the big thing about Olaf now is that your ultimate is a lot lower duration, but if you hit people, it extends it infinitely. As long as you're hitting people in your ult, it just keeps going. So you need to find a way to disengage it. He doesn't have that ghost. He has the flash instead. He needs to have the Ori movement speed, the Renata movement speed from something like that too, to really keep on these targets. But even then, I don't think he's tanky enough to get the most out of it.
The problem is you've got an Azir and an Ashe who've got 4 and 5 kills apiece. You've got this Seraphine who's been involved in everything versus a 0, 2 and 2 Renata who's got a Mikhail's now, that's fine, but into Redemption, into Moonstone, this Seraphine quietly behind the scenes, not so quietly bluntly because we've been yelling about it all game, is really empowering the backline to stay alive, the Xin Zhao to stay alive, and you're not winning the Drain Tank build.
So I did say earlier, 369 can maybe win the game through side lanes again. 0-4 and 0 looks a little bit odd saying that, but he's killed 2 inner turrets and 2 outer turrets basically. This guy has got 4 tower kills instead.
It's big, yeah.
He's got a lot of gold. He's gone for the upgraded boots on the feats of strength a little early. I don't know whether that's a good idea. Getting yourself
against the Azir Ashe.
Sure, it's a big engage again. Kanavi pops the ult. Here comes Jace, but Jace is brought back and forwards.
He manages to get himself out of it though by using To the Skies. Now actually Jace is doing a lot of work. Sassy in the backline though to Ratki Love. Means even with the bailout, has to flash away, stays alive, and top esports are doing it. Climber and Xiaoye though trying to turn it around. They finally get the Orianna. It's 2 for 2 for now. Solo lane is down on one side, jungle and mid down for top esports.
That is a historic level of anti-synergy. Azir knocks the Jace, the win condition for top esports, into the team fight, and the Xin Zhao knocks them out. Anti-synergy at the highest level. I have never seen something quite like that. We'll see it in the replay. But honestly, the fact that the Jace doesn't get just immediately obliterated, but by what was another great shuffle by the Azir, completely turns the fight. We'll see a replay of that 100%. Top East was getting a lot more out of that scenario than they had any right to. They get another 2 kills and it was 2 for 2, I think, overall, I suppose.
Yeah, it was. Mid-jungle versus solo lanes.
And now this means that maybe you even get yourself a dragon, get yourself the soul point, or just push out those side lanes. Either way, top esports not that far behind a goal. Clutch out an important team fight with a little bit of help from Climber and XQW, unfortunately for them. Dragon setup now on the table.
Flash just popped by Seraphine weirdly off. Oh no, it's that bug thing where it's coming off cooldown. I apologize.
Huh?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's, yeah, Flash coming off cooldown for Y6 Nod and going on cooldown. It goes grey fully and you go, hang on, that's
okay,
Flash
so Baron started up. You do not have control of this area. You do have Jace to use some Shock Blast, but he's not here right now. And your tanks to go and phase check are not that tanky. LGD have themselves a decent objective setup, but they're losing HP to the Baron.
Kanavi needs to try and find his way through. Arrow lands. Sidestep by Kanavi, leaves Crisp out to be hit by it. Had the Mikhail's nonetheless.
Redemption
used to heal. Still on the Baron. What HP is it at? Kanavi needs to find his way in there. Down to 2,000 HP. Kanavi into the backline. Flashes. Gets a shockwave deliverance onto Xiaoye. Survives. Keeps going forward. Finally goes down because the Azir and the Cassandre do enough work. Cream and Jackie have to do some work. XQW says no. Another shuffle.
LGD get themselves the Baron fight that they were looking for, and Top Esports might have clutched the last fight. I don't think they'll be able to do another one after this point. They have been put to the sword here in game 1. They picked a difficult composition. They picked an Olaf jungle, who is now almost 2,000 gold behind. LGD in a uphill battle to try and climb their way out of Group A as C2 over Top Esports. Look like they're going to strike first.
And you could see that this comp would look very different if the Olaf was more of a threat, if he wasn't 0 and 6. Gets into the backlands, the ball on top of it. It's a great shockwave. It just doesn't end the game.
But you know, we can talk about the Olaf being fed. We could also talk about the setup too. They're already at 2/3 HP coming in. The redemption makes it much easier on the other side. You're engaging one direction down into a Seraphine and an Ashe. The Cassante being annoying too. Look, this is about as good as it gets. He somehow managed to deliver a bailout Olaf into the backline with a shockwave, manages to give them a lot more. This Cassante W does about 1,000 damage across 3 members. 3 members, probably about 300, 400 damage each. That Cassante W completely runs the back end of that fight. Top Esports, you know, they get a decent start to it, but they just don't have the stats after.
Draft has not worked for Top Esports. That initial fight went so wrong, and it's kind of all gone downhill from there. Ashe, 3.5 items, 3 items complete on the Azir. Everywhere you look, aside from top lane, significant leads. Of course, Cassante can be a little lower economy, still at 2.5 items. He's feeling fine, still doing just fine in the team fight. Yeah, the Jace is at 2.5 items himself, but he's not winning the game for you.
No.
And you have a Kalista that is now trying to play a team fight into a horribly outraged composition.
And you know, in this kind of game, you know, I was talking about this earlier when Jace upgraded the boots early. There is every bit of data says it is gold inefficient to upgrade it early. You need to do it later into the game because you need that gold to hang on the blast cone.
Xiaoyi's gonna die for that. No! Climber!
No,
what have you done?
No,
what have you done? Climber's trying, but they've lost the ball lane. They've all teleported in. Oh! Good God.
Top Esports have just made a miraculous play. LGD, this should have been their victory, but Kanavi with the blast cone from the heavens may have just bought Top Esports another win. We were just singing so many praises for LGD, but Kanavi on the 1-6 Olaf just delivers a blast cone shockwave into the backline, which brings Top Esports back into the game.
I genuinely think Climber hit the blast cone. I think it was Climber trying to escape.
But either way, it doesn't matter, because Kanavi was on the side of it anyway. If Climber hadn't hit it, Kanavi would have done anyway. I'm not going to blame him for doing that, because either way, that blast cone is going off. The fact that LGD did not respect it is the biggest thing here. Kanavi stood on this in the first place. Yes, Climber ends up hitting it, but it doesn't matter that it's him. Yes, he ends up auto-attacking it, but Kanavi would have done this all the same. Kanavi could have done this. The problem is Climber positions himself in a position where he can't defend the rest of his team, and then Kanavi gets into the backline. The fact that they are positioning like that as the Ashe Seraphine in the first place is the problem.
This game was over. LGD were looking so good, and then they have had a few fumbles this game. The tier 1 defensive mid. This moment now.
And folks, and I do want to make this clear. You know, we're saying, oh no, I'm not saying that because I want Top Esports to lose. I'm saying that because it is a tragedy that LGD, the underdogs, lose a fight in a fashion like that. Top Esports, absolute miracle play from them. Kanavi, even behind the game, makes some magic happen, but you have to feel bad for LGD.
And that is a lot. They were nearly 5,000 gold ahead. It's now down to about 1,000 gold. All of those shutdowns pick up. It's huge. This Oriana's now got a death cap.
That's
She's
insane.
Quietly very scary in this backline
and
now.
you don't have, you know, shield bow or anything like that on the Ashe. Ashe will get one shot by a shockwave at level 16 with the death cap, especially with the Shadow Flame.
Oh, yeah.
You're at a point now with just any extra follow-up damage. Xiaoya goes, and I think if Xiaoya and XQW die, LGD can't play the fight. I think at that point, Olaf runs rampant. I don't think Sante deals with them. You are still ahead in gold from LGD. You are still decent point when it comes to killing towers and to controlling the map. The vision control around mid lane is very good for LGD, but this game should have been over. It's not anymore.
The Mega Blast Cone flings Kanavi, by the grace of God, into the backline. A Heartless Angel. Unreal stuff.
The most important cooldown in the game now, folks, is actually Olaf's flash. We have seen time after time Olaf ulting and flashing into the backline to get someone. If you can flash out of the shockwave, sure, that makes a difference. You do have every summoner available for particularly the bot lane. You have Zhonya's available for the Azir as well. That will help. Asher goes on to Crisp. There's no follow-up on that one. There's just hoping, I think, they could find someone in that gap just over the river. But if Top Esports manage to get a flash shockwave onto the backline, I think that's fight over.
Yeah, it might be. The fourth item now done for the Ashe. There's the Bloodthirst. It might be a little harder to manage in these fights. Of course, when you've got the healing and shielding from the Seraphine behind you as well, does give you some tools as long as you aren't one-tapped to keep going through a fight. Fourth item, not quite done for XQW, stopped off with Oblivion Orb and the Blighting Jewel, but some anti-heal and the pen, valuable for this as it.
Yeah, I will also say as well, GA and the Sunder Sky make decisions that are quite hard to remove from the front line. Baron spawning in 30 seconds, Dragon spawning in 10. No one's on Soul Point just yet, so it is the Baron that's really the most important point. We'll say as well, individual Chemtech Dragons, valuable for both teams. They affect your heals and your shields, and they also give you tenacity, which is really important in this game. The Soul itself, of course, very important to you, because we've got an Olaf who loves that.
Huge. Bailout too.
Zir turret used to force prio on mid lane. That will help into either objective. Top Esports, they don't have anyone on a side lane right now, so they don't have a great answer to this. They went quite hard towards the Baron. LGD can now hard push up mid lane. This is why you get mid lane pro. You hard push up mid lane makes it so much easier to go towards an objective. They're choosing the Baron right now, and they might just choose to rush it. They do have an Azir. They take this quickly, and the Seraphine makes them healthy while they're doing it.
Gonna have to. Xiaoye is not attacking the Baron, though. They're letting the Azir do that. Xiaoye looking to be a bit of a guardian here, a warden, bouncing people off. Arrow lands, not onto the best target. Can be forced to ult. Well, Mikhail's early, I apologize. That's where that...
Xiaoye's caught! Xiaoye's caught!
369, tries to find him. Shockwave lands onto the Seraphine, but doesn't kill her. Till now, gets to the skies they go. On the other side, the split fight is favoring Top Esports. They fumble around the Baron. Kanavi survives. Cream finds multiple members. 6,500 damage for the Orianna, and they are going to win the game.
Xiaoye has made an LPL career out of mispositioning in the late game, and it happens somehow again. Top Esports make multiple fights happen from behind the game with a more difficult to play composition, proving their pedigree and winning game one.
It was over, but those fumbles will cost them the game. LGD, my heart goes out to you, Top Esports. I think you might owe someone a bit of a thanks after this one, because this is not done by mortal will alone. That is some remarkable tenacity to get back in here. They will win the game against all odds.
Look, LGD losing like that is heartbreak. You know, I consider myself a fan of basically all LPL teams. I love the LPL. Losing like that hurts like hell. I have my head in my hands. The Blast Cone's one thing. Xiaoye mispositioning like that around Baron. Look, this is why I didn't believe in LGD as a team. They won against WE, but Xiaoye as a carry has done this in late game for years now in the LPL. Even when he was coming up as an LDL rookie into there, I think he's had some bright moments, but there's always been that one crucial misstep in late game. Why was he alone, away from the big unit, around the Baron? Why did that happen? You see that YCX had to put himself out of position to try and save the Ashe. It didn't work. They got, you know, the Jace getting so much damage, 369. Getting a bunch of work there.
Yeah, he did.
Top Esports had no right winning that game. I don't think Top Esports fans will be massively happy with that game. They'll be happy they won, for sure, especially finding some of the magic they did, but
it shouldn't have been like that.
That is a heartbreak for LGD, and there's no other way to put that.
And the thing is, I know obviously everyone's going to go to that last play, but there were multiple misplays in that game. I'm thinking about XQW and Sassy in that mid lane tier 1 where they teleport in really awkward timings and get themselves killed. I think about the Blastcone play where Climbers fighting around the Blastcone calls everyone over, and Sassy and XQW are way away and they die there. And, you know, there's multiple misplays from multiple members that kind of show the flaws in LGD as a squad, even when they had a composition that had come online in the way that should have made Top Esports very tricky.
So, folks, hi. Let's do some introductions if you've not seen us before. My name's Nymaera. This is Initialise. You might have seen us on the LEC. Ooh. You might have seen us on LPL doing this for the last couple of years as well. We are streaming this on my own channel and, of course, on Onivia as well on YouTube. We also stream on our own channel here on YouTube too. So you have multiple ways and places to enjoy this. So you start forming a bit of an LPL community, because the LPL has no official broadcast anymore. There are fan projects which are doing that, and we wish them the best of luck. We'd like to join them in doing so, because we want the LPL to be enjoyed by people like you that are watching this. So we hope that you're enjoying our casting. We are brothers. We cast together, and we've cast together since 2020. And in fact, folks, if you'd like to see us again a little bit sooner than that, after today's games are done, we're going over to the LEC to cast a best of 3 for the LEC as brothers in a major region. it's insane that that is a thing which is happening. Please enjoy us there too. But we have a lot of LPL to get through here today too.
Yes, we do. BDSM Koi this evening will be really exciting. We're looking forward to seeing you all in chat. I see you all out there on 3 different channels. But yeah, do come and support us there. But right now, it's Top Esports LGD.
I'm so look.
I am
the thing is that, look,
still
guys,
really frustrated for
I
LGD.
don't want people to misconstrue this as, oh, these guys don't like Top Esports, because I know that there are a lot of popular players in Top Esports. They're a popular team, but folks, LGD had this game. Losing any game for any team in that fashion is heartbreak. I can't bear to watch, you know, such a one game have it slip away like that.
It's so frustrating. And again, I look at that and I go, how the hell did Kanavi do that much damage from 0 and 6? And in fairness to him, that's good work. And obviously 369 and Cream pulling out some good split bush, good team fights alongside it. So there were moments Top Esports to hold on. The gold lead was never completely unmanageable until the Baron fell the first time, and they still ended up fumbling it.
Yeah, so this was, which one was this? This was Grubs. This is where the first fight went really bad for Top Esports. This is how a team fight should look. You struggle to get into the right places. The Olaf's not tanky enough because he's a jungler, and the items just don't support Olaf that well right now. Even with the Renata bailout, it doesn't work that well. But the later you get into the game, the more residual damage you just kind of get. And you misstep a little bit, and even the supporting cast of, you know, Renata, the Olaf, can start to clean up fights. This was the first big fight which went wrong from LGD. They misdefend a mid lane turret. This is a bad Cassante W. That's basically what happens. The Cassante W is really bad from Kasasi. It puts him into the middle of everyone. He dies for free. Suddenly you have no team fight. No frontline, rather. Of course, it gets a little bit awkward after this. Jaculov knows Atakan is going down. He just checks it in an unsafe way. I don't think the instinct is wrong. Just gets punished for it. And of course that leaves them in a 4v5 for the Baron. These are how team fights should look. This is how the game should have looked. And yes, Top Esports put themselves in a good position in side lanes and with that mid lane tower take to get themselves in here. And again, they forced well over this too. This with the Atakan, doesn't matter, they're losing. XQW had some great sweeps this game. Good as ear game from him after a bad early game. But the later the game went, just the carries just got completely blasted by some random missteps.
This is another one, right, where the anti-synergy comes on through.
The dodge! Like, this would have been game over if they win this. If they win this fight, the double bop, the Shinzao ultimate, unknowns to Climber, saving 369 from the shuffle, that's one on, like, the misplays. That's one. Okay, so that's kind of like stupid play number one. This one, this is actually just a good fight by Top Esports. This one's good. Like, and even then, it doesn't completely win them the fight. This is about as good as it should get from a team fight. So on the stupid plays counter that somehow win Top Esports the game, that's one. And then the second, I think the second one is probably going to be this one here. This one here, where the bot lane should not be positioned like this. You cannot position like that. Climber hitting that clone, it would have happened anyway. This is play number 2, which turns the game, which in a completely unnecessary way. There's no way this play can come out of nowhere like this. The bot lane did not understand the threat of that. And this, what is Sharia positioning like here? This one here is absolutely killer. As the Ashe with so much gold, without a kiting build, putting, and CW missing the shuffle as well. This is play number 3. 3 plays in important enough moments lose them the game. That is heartbreaking. And the Top Esports play super well at picking up the pieces as well. You know, it takes a good team to punish mispositions like that too. And I'm trying to balance this for both sides fans, stuff like that. And I know there are a lot of Top Esports fans there, but LGD, oh, how bad does that feel? Yeah.
The meme has come true.
Yeah.
If you lose with Cassante, you're bad. If you lose with Atakan, you're bad.
If you lose with both, there is no hope for you.
LGD, how?
Okay, folks. We're gonna go on a bit of a break. I need myself a coffee.
Do it.
If you want to stay here with chat time, you absolutely can. But yeah, we're gonna be chilling out. And of course, yeah, if you're enjoying what we do, please drop a like, a follow, a Twitch Prime, and if you're on Onivia as well, they've just opened up YouTube subscriptions as well. So if you want to avoid adverts, you absolutely can do that. And if you have questions or just want to hang out, come ask us. We are actually paying attention to all of our chats. I'm gonna get myself a coffee and we'll talk about the MVP, I suppose.
Absolutely.
As well. Cream
had a really good game.
He had a very good game. He's the one guy I don't think actually fumbled 7-1-7 from a losing game. That's insane.
Yeah, he was doing mad damage as well. 80% kill participation, delivered the shockwaves onto the right people, caught the Seraphine out in that end fight as well, who stepped into the bush not knowing the ball was there and just wrecked the Seraphine. Huge deal. I think there could have been a shout-out for 369 as well, despite the deaths. Got so much value. Oh, this was a really nice 1v1. Yeah, there was a few nice outplay moments here as well. And again, this is a guy at one point who people said, well, he can only play melee champions. He can only play Yone. He can only play Akali. Okay, Tristana last year as well. We'll give him that. But much improved on the mages and Cream. I was a founding member of the Lactose Tolerance Club. alongside Nymaera. And finding moments like this really matters because this game should have been unlosable for LGD. Really should. And somehow, some way, it all goes wrong. And this is the one that you're going to see you're going to see some wonderful damage coming on through as the command distance came out at the end of it. Oh, nice. There's your MVP. Hey folks, good to see you. We've run some ads already, good news. Nothing is unlosable if you throw harder, Flamau, you're not wrong. And there was some significant throws in that. Is this best of 3, best of 5? It is best of 5. You two are always entertaining. Thank you, Zachary Thompson, appreciate it. Hey Sam, says Trinity. Hello Trinity, good to see you, mate. How's life on the other side of the world? And also Brackish Britain there as well. Shout out to one of our fellow grassroots casters. Go check him out on UKEL if you like your grassroots scene. Will I be seeing you at the NLC finals, Brack? You bringing any of the crew? Blue side for LGD. Not unexpected. 30C today, so dying. Bloody hell. Yeah, but I say it's weird. It's summer over in your part of the world. It's very much not here. We've got snow, Trinity. We've got quite a lot of snow. It is very cold outside. Cream ended up at 7 kills on me. He had a really good Oriana game. Couldn't tell you the Jack kills. A lot of the crew ain't going. I'm sad he can't make it. Oh, that's a shame, Brack. We'll make sure they all drop us a line. I'll make sure to say hey and take some people around. It's the same. It's a Temporal will know the venue. It's the venue we did British esports in a few years back, so he'll know where we're at. It's cold here too. Glad we got someone streaming this. I appreciate it, Mando. Mando, how's the bounty hunting going? Don't forget to hydrate yourself. Yes, actually, that's a really sensible idea. Hang on, let me do that. And there was a hydrate from Vid Student as well, so we'll make sure that happens. And hello from Solarpuff. I'm hoping we've got the Spotify thing done already. Let me double check. I'm hoping so. It is cool. Just basically, a lot of these this ad music, a lot of the like background music and jam stuff, it's all copyrighted. It's really obnoxious. Makes our lives a lot harder. Where are we streaming from? We are streaming from Berlin. That's where we live. I live with Alex. This is our little house of Hapgood, where we do things like esports. Ooh, ah. I will return and get myself a coffee as well, if that's all right, and I'll leave chat to you. And remember, guys, to follow and subscribe here, and also to follow me at Initialise Casts. I'm in the title.
Do it, yes.
Come say hello. I'm a lovely bloke, I promise.
Couldn't do this without him. He's a very good caster, and being around a lot and living in the same place really helps both of us do it.
Oh, big time.
And if you do enjoy our stuff, come watch us on LEC later today.
Please do. Be a good time.
We are actually flesh and blood siblings. We are brothers, and like we are actually casting League of Legends
deal with this guy for a while now.
Yeah. No, this is like the only time you'll see siblings cast tier 1 major region in League of Legends. It's absolutely insane. I cannot believe that this is happening. We did 2 years ago for LEC in 2022, but every time it happens, it's a hell of a thing to see. Thank you, Zachary. Very kind words. And I saw a couple of follows come through as well. Crystal, thanks for the follow. Bristmas. 23 Kisosa, Mando, Foreign Huz, Jason Blackley, Anusiak, and Casual Cager. Thank you for the followers, everyone. It really does make us, yeah, it helps us kind of keep doing what we're doing. The follows, the subs, the views. Just honestly, folks, as I say this every time, just being here enjoying stuff helps. Because there is no... Hang on, let me unmute for this.
我觉得队伍整体状态其实也不是很稳定嘛。就是我们队伍可能在后期，就是打到大后期团战上面的话，我们可能就是各自发挥的时候，感觉打得还算不错。但在前面的运营和一些前期的资源碰撞上，我们就是 打得不是很好。下
Sam's
场
just
对阵
gone
老
for
干
a
爹的话，
drink,
我觉得
Prime.
更需要注意的是我们队伍自己的问题吧，需要把就是前面资源点的团战，就是要钻研的更好一点。就是希望大家好好加油，然后拿下最后一场。然后希望就是后面的话就是赢完之后再以更好的状态去迎接接下来季后赛。
Well, folks, got to hear something from Jackie Love there. Sadly, I don't speak Mandarin, so I can't translate that for you. However, if anyone does speak Mandarin in any of the chats which we're currently streaming onto, please let us know what he said. And if you're watching it on the VOD as well, maybe you can go get a Google Translate thing. Sometimes there are bad translation provision. If we kill the Nexus, we win the game. You're so true, bestie. I can't believe you're spread. Of all the languages you could speak, you chose to speak the truth. Incredible. When does Chief CFO start? I'm actually not sure. Because LCP starts a little later than... So typically we've got LCK, LPL, LCP, and they do overlap a little bit. But I'm not sure, because LCP has had 2 series a day, so I'm actually not sure about that. Think it's about to start? Cool. Well, LCK playoffs have just finished. Anthony says, thank you so much for casting. You guys are infinitely better than... Okay, well, so... I think that we're really good at what we do. I do appreciate the LPL English guys as well. Sorry, I didn't read the whole comment there. But anyway, I will take that for the compliment that it is, and I'm glad that you're enjoying our stream. Yeah, but... Oh, LCP is just starting draft for their first game, so we are a game ahead of LCP. Cool. Yeah. They're picking champions right now. Cool. So, I didn't expect HLE to stomp Gen G that hard. Duro's been struggling. I thought Duro would actually be okay. I think it's been clear that Duro is a big step down. I even wonder, after LCK Cup, thank you for the follow, by the way, Ditto Mito. I wonder if they look for a support trade in going into Split 2. Are you guys on LEC today? Yes, we are. Sam was on LEC yesterday with Vedius casting their first series of the day. I'm on LEC today with Sam doing a brothers cast for Movistar Koi versus BDS. So we'll be casting this, we'll be wrapping up here, and then we're heading over to the LEC studio. So if you enjoy what we're doing, you might find us, and if you're watching on Onivia, the highlights channel, which of course you'll hear us on the LPL highlights for these games, but you'll also hear us on the LEC highlights for later into the series as well. Getting into the draft soon if that's the right camera angle. Yeah, we'll be getting into draft soon for Game 2. Top Esports really should be thanking their lucky stars they walked away with that Game 1. Clutch, they were, but the fact that they had to be clutch, it's not great, and I didn't like that draft. Very difficult draft to play, and they didn't execute it well enough in the early game to really justify picking it. Can I see an Ambessa, please? I'm pretty sure Ambessa will turn up at some point. Hey, Wing, how's it going? We're doing good, Wing. I just cast an eye over to LCK to see what happened there. We have had some very interesting plays here. With the Game 1... The start of the game and the end of that game were very different tales. Missed game 1 because of LCK. Did I miss much? LGD had almost an unlosable game. They had a better composition, they outscaled, they had early advantages, they had objectives, and they found 3 big throws in a row. We had a Fed Jace getting shuffled by Nazir into the team, but then getting knocked back out of the team by their own team's Shinzao to save him. We had a Blast Cone, the Chemtech Blast Cone, punting an Olaf with a shockwave onto the Ashe Seraphine to kill them. We had Shaya on a fed Ashe, mispositioning, standing on his own around Baron. It was 3 critical misplays back-to-back, which see LGD now at 0-1. In this series, which will qualify one of these teams for playoffs, they will go into the lower bracket. Top Esports, if they lose, would have missed maybe their first playoffs ever. Jackie Love, I do know. Jackie Love has never missed playoffs ever. And that first game gave you a bit of a sweat. Of course, it's best of 5. There's a lot of work to be done, but we saw just what TT did to BLG the other day. Into our second draft. Rumble banned away, and the Ambassador banned away too. Top lane pool changing quite rapidly here. Varus currently unbanned. Vi currently unbanned. Ezreal, Corki. Lots of power. Of course, there are always more power picks banned. It tends to be until like game 3, game 4, things start to get a bit more spooky when it comes to that.
Does. Over we come. As those bans are in. Hello, I'm back. I managed to make coffee, but the pod fell through when I tried to make it, so I had to remake the coffee because I had sort of like slightly coloured water, which was not coffee.
That's what we call an Americano over here. So, what is our... I would not go for a Yone over a Varus, But with SQW being a player of the champion, a good player of the champion, and also Cream being one of his best champions, because that's what he spammed on OMG. While if you take the nameplates off, I take Varus, put the nameplates on, I do understand taking away that Yone from Cream.
Very, very valuable. I think XQW, a bit of a player of it too, so it makes some sense in the sense that it is a champion that can be a playmaker. And we saw last game, SQW actually, on a mechanical level, made some phenomenal plays on that Azir. There were some wonderful slide glides divides to be found. Aurora, Awawa, being considered.
Okay,
It's
so you've got
locked in.
Aurora. You can go for Vi here as well. Take it away from... I mean, Vi Yone is not necessarily the combo you want, but Aurora Vi is nasty as hell.
Wukong an option too if you feel that's more your option. And Kanavi, for my money, has always been a really, really good Wukong player. So I could see that being an option too. Nah, being considered by 369 Blind, saying Sassy, I just don't think you have an answer.
I don't think Sassy played very well individually last game.
No,
and
I don't
also
either.
369 blasted him in the 1v1 side select. So 369 says, okay, I picked Gnar, doesn't matter what you pick, I'm going to beat you in the 1v1. You picked, I think even if he picks Jax, look, if this is Bin, if it's Breathe, if it's a bunch of other players, maybe it's a more even matchup. Sassy has struggled today. I think 369 with a Gnar is happy to take on all comers.
I cast Team Heretics last night, running a Yone Yasuo comp to try and manage the Gnar. Didn't quite work out. The Gnar ended up about 2,000 gold ahead, which wasn't what you wanted to see. And we've seen Gnars, even in counter matchups as late, kind of still do a really good job. If you're just a good player, manage out those counter matchups really, really well. And yes, of course, this is the OMG 2023 topside draft where you can carry through the Sejuani melee synergy in those lanes. I just don't know how easy it's going to be, especially now you've locked in a Vi as well. Top esports, the teamfight comp is very good.
LGD currently have 0 magic damage. It's not normally great for them, so the Ziggs is going to get banned away.
Sejuani passive.
You're going to... yeah.
Yone does mix damage with his passive every other auto.
You're also going to ban away the Kai'Sa here. It was the Ziggs Kai'Sa, which were the AP bot lane options from last year. Chat told me to hit you for calling Aurora or Aurora wah wah wah, so I did that. And also Wing says hi.
You
Someone
can't,
that we know from
stop me, guys. I'm the one with the microphone. You're not.
I have the key to end the stream.
I will turn this stream around.
Are we there yet? So,
No,
LGD need
more
magic.
champions to be picked.
LGD needs some magic damage. Top Esports going to ban away the Kai'Sa, or you have to ban away the Kai'Sa here. Or I guess Jackalope could take the Kai'Sa if they want to on 4. They could do that.
Interesting. Get rid of the Elise here as well. I think YCX had a pretty solid game on the Seraphine. Elise, for all its slightly lackluster stage performances, has been a very, very scary pick for high-tier teams and can often allow you to snowball games away in a way you just don't want to have happen. And when you're running with the Sejuani early on with those melee options, things like the Elise would be dangerous to manage. Last ban will be the Varus, Jackie's Varus.
So there's 2 choices here. You know the Kai'Sa is coming, you pick something that beats the Kai'Sa, or you take the Kai'Sa yourself. You have a Vi, you can play around that Kai'Sa, but then you might have to blind pick the Kai'Sa yourself. So, maybe Jack11 and Chris think that they can just win with that. Taking away someone like a Rakan means that you can ban away, it's one of the better laning options, I suppose, as Sam's chair is rolling away once again for reasons.
Happens quite a lot. It's very annoying. Ugh, thank you.
Ow, you just rolled over my foot with
You
your
pulled
chair.
me into you.
I was pulling, but then you started to push yourself. Anyway, ow, my foot.
I'm sorry for your foot. Are they just debating a Xayah rather than the Kai'Sa
Well,
here?
they want to take her. I mean, they're into the Vi Rakan now. It would be anti-dive, but then you are full AD, and that will cause some issues. I suppose you're already forcing Merc Treads with Jack Sejuani a little bit, so maybe you can walk away with that a little bit.
I'm also saying that Yone and Jax do actually have at least some magic damage built into the kit. They actually do a fair amount of mixed damage. Jax in particular, obviously. Hell, it could just be a Baus AP Jax. We're feeling really, really spicy today. I hope not. That champion shouldn't work and doesn't. It's very silly, guys. Don't be like Baus.
That'll be different. This will be very different.
Okay.
Okay. Lulu, of course, helps your Xayah be very, very high damage, and they go for the Ezreal instead. So, I was expecting a Kai'Sa in the second round of the draft. That has not been the case. Ezreal Rakan, very strong lane, though, and they outrange the Xayah Lulu. Lulu does not really like playing into Rakan either, because when she walks up towards attack, Rakan presses W, and she has to flash out of it, which is not the best situation. I think Top Esports...
It's fine.
I think Top Esports walk away with a better draft. Everyone can commit to the dive. Ezreal can jump forwards as well. LGD, they are full AD. They are against people that can build Ninja Tabi. I think that Vi and Gnar will become quite hard to kill. LGD, I don't even think they have necessarily the best lanes. I think Gnar can beat Jax because it's 369 versus Sassy, and I think Ezreal Rakan is a much better lane than Xayah Lulu, so I'm quite worried here for LGD. They lost game 1 with an outscaling draft with a good early game. Now they're going in with a bit more of a questionable draft. I'm not saying it's bad, but I think it's harder to play against top esports who just beat them from a worse situation. Not looking good if they want to proceed from this group.
And I think when you are a worse team, at least on paper, right? And you're going into a game where there's still a lot of go buttons on top esports, and you are realistically outranged. Double melees plus a Xayah is not a lot of range as just a general concept for a draft, and you're into Ezreal in particular, and Jackie loves Ezreal. The man's accuracy on Ezreal is pretty well renowned. He is one of the very best Ezreal players in the world, and that is a very risky proposition to find yourself in. You still got to deal with the fact that you've got the Gnar, you've got the Aurora, double additional ranged options. If you just sit in front of objectives and let top esports punish you for dithering, this could be a very ugly mid game for LGD.
Yeah, it could. So, reminder folks, this series sees one of these two teams into playoffs. Anyone's Legend is in this group, and they've already qualified as first after sweeping every team. Top esports took a single game, but they couldn't take more. Winner of this series goes through a second into the lower bracket for playoffs, which starts on Saturday.
LGD, Gyro's not coordinated. Multiple people trying to lead the chant. Come on, guys. I heard last game someone started a G2 chant.
Really?
It was a G2 Gyro call. What's going on?
If someone can get a clip of that, that's great, by the way. The thing is, so for those of you that don't know, and this is a bit of an introduction to some Chinese community memes, is we might see a level 1. Basically, after the Gyos finish, people will go LGD Gyro, even if the LGD is not playing, because it's kind of like the TSM of the West. It's their version of it. LGD, of course, Lagandier. It's a famous chili oil brand. Level 1 starting up. I think the level 1 from top esports is really good though. Ezreal Qs, the Aurora Q. You don't really want to be fighting up against that, and you know
they don't.
Esports, this is really fun from top esports because what they do is they go into bot side to scout out the walls. They return back up to their top side to defend their own jungle, and they know they have the better level 1. LGD just thought, oh, if we just walk in there, they're still in bot side, it's fine. Top esports put the wards down. They get their lane swap wards to get themselves standard lanes. If you are the Xayah Lulu, you could have avoided this. Now you can't. It's a decent level 1 trade, but it's not going to be that good. Ezreal just needs to hit a couple of Qs and then you feel really bad.
I think, Alex, the audio is slightly desynced. So it might need a refresh.
It's okay, I can do that.
Took me a second to figure out whether it was, and I was like, no, that's definitely slightly off. Thank you very much. It does get a little confusing at times. There we go. Thank you very much, sir. We're back to our regularly scheduled broadcast.
So anything really to know here? So we have those standard lanes, and we do expect the Ezreal Lacan to be bullying out the Xayah Lulu a bit. Not currently. Xayah is good if she gets to access the wave, because that's how she uses her auto attacks to put down feathers, and you can use that for big feather pullbacks and stuff like that. So a little bit. Hang on, Kanavi. He's going for actual camp contest. He's not using his own side of the jungle. Climber gonna Q over, and now he doesn't have Q, and that's a problem. You have a level 3 Vi in your jungle. Really well played from Kanavi. He has always been a bit of an early game savant.
Gonna have to back away, and SQW at 10% HP. Didn't really have the ability to play, and yet Kanavi. That's an upward. That climber just going up and down. It's putting him in danger. Where is this Vi? Still have that opportunity to Q forward. Has the flash well. Doesn't even need it. Gets the powered auto. Oh, Climber.
Oh, climbing his way out of the river Styx. Oh, he's been sent to Tartarus. Kanavi, an early game classic. Sassy may be able to find something against...
Flash.
No, flash forward.
Leave strike and get another auto off here and gets it. Solo kill. For the man we said might not be looking so hot in this lane.
What just happened with 369? He's just been destroying Sassy the entire series, and as we said in the draft earlier, hey, he's picking the Gnar because he just thinks he can beat Sassy on anything. Apparently not. Kanavi's hard work equalized out by the Jax getting the kill. Well, I'll say that. I think it's actually more important to get this jungle advantage. Kanavi goes in, goes camp to camp. He clears his first 3 camps a bit quicker because Climber was delayed on the level 1. This doesn't happen if they don't delay the level 1. The flash away, horrid from Climber. He won't have that. Kanavi doesn't have to commit his own. 369, I don't know exactly what happens here. His level up doesn't have the Mega Gnar rather. He was in a full wave, but he didn't have the HP to fight around it. I think he thought he was safe in the wave. It just wasn't.
I think also he was really hard shoving to give Kanavi some support in the jungle, so was trying to keep Sassy tied up so he couldn't help support Sejuani, but playing to shove the wave so hard means it's a long lane to get run down by a Jax at mini now.
Yeah, sure, and I think the theory of that's fine. You just can't do that at 3rd HP. Or a half HP.
Yeah, very true.
Also, another thing too, by the way, you don't fight... You fight Vi at level 1. Level 1 is really bad for Vi. Level 1, level 2, not good. Can't fight you. The fact that Kanavi gets to do a full quadrant clear because top esports delay the level 1 from LGD, and you actually get to fight the Vi as level 3, that's the powerful bit there. Vi level 3, one of the strongest champions in the game. Vi level 1 and 2, one of the weakest champions in the game. Kanavi using the power spike so well, and he has always been such a good Vi player. I'm really glad that he's shown a good early game here. JDG last year, their early game was really bad, unless Kanavi pulled off a one-man army. Occasionally he can just do that. Yeah. Great to see that again here. It's been a little bit missing from this year so far, although we haven't had the most games to track it from.
No, we haven't. And the gold lead remains pretty even. It's an ugly moment for Climber, but 369 getting caught out was bad. Sassio has stepped forward, and Kanavi is here to defend this time around. Has no flash. There is a counter-strike available. We'll get the stun. We'll have a leak strike to work with to his minions, so I think he gets to walk away. Kanavi nearly at Mega as well means that Sassy can't sit there and trade, and that makes that lane a lot trickier now for this Jax.
Yeah, especially with Meganar coming up. He has no flash on either one of them. Good counter-strike from Sassy. Also blocks out, you know, the follow-up auto-attack cancel. Climber manages to get himself back onto the board in terms of CS, but he's got vision in his own jungle. He's still a level down. Kanavi has access to the map first. And look at this, you know, you could have just easily gone from that bot lane trade, walk down to bot lane, go up towards Dragon, start taking that. Instead, nope. Kanavi wants to use this power spike, puts a ward down, walks up into mid lane, spots Climber, potentially threatening Grubs at the same time.
There's the Aurora ult going between worlds. LGD on the retreat, trying to back out. I think they should be able to retreat as SQW unbinds the soul briefly. See whether he can find a bit of damage back, but the HP bar's now at about half for many members of LGD. Is Kanavi gonna be fine. Missed the Vault Breaker, but can still back away.
We have Ezreal versus Zyra in the top lane. SQW once again trying to find some. The electrocutes and Cream, so nasty. This is the electrocute buff patch, by the way, folks. Domination runes nasty. Crisp. Careful there, buddy. Gotta be careful. Ezreal over the other side of the wall. Top esports, what else do they have to play with? You don't have level 6s just yet. You have a heal on the Rakan. LGD have vision control over Grubs. They might have just arm wrestled their way in here.
They have a bit of a chunk onto Jackie Love, who took enough HP down that it feels like LGD's arm wrestle has won them out this one. And importantly, getting a Jax, getting a Yone early Grubs feels really good. You want at least 3 to make those champions a lot more threatening on a side lane.
Biggest part of that play, which I think will be underrated, is we saw the kind of the push of war in top lane between Ezreal and Xayah. Xayah didn't get poked out by the Ezreal. You normally expect that. Now, of course, Jackalove going to be resetting towards bot side. There's no Grubs to worry about. We have an even lane actually between the Xayah and the Ezreal. This is looking completely fine. Ezreal at some point needs to start doing good damage against Xayah to poke them out before the big objectives, and that's when things really start to fall apart for the Xayah. Top esports didn't have that in the last play, maybe they'll have it the next time. Cream tried to do the same on Aurora, actually. Both of them just trying to get HP advantages before the big play.
We find a bit of a chunk again onto XQW. Crips just sticking around, making the Yone...
I was wrong, by the way. The domination buffs are on point 3.
Yeah, I thought
wrong.
so.
I'm sorry, Blade. I apologize.
I didn't want to say anything.
You know, Kanavi, level 6 on top side. Flash back to Sassy. Hang on, his counter-strike's down. This is a problem now.
I think Sassy's in danger. There's nowhere really for him to go. He's got a flash and a dream. How long until counter-strike? 3 seconds, 2-1. Flash for the Vault Breaker. There's nowhere to go. Hops away, doing a decent enough job. Will at least earn an additional summoner. Double flashes, double ults, but they do get the kill.
Oh, the retreat practice a little bit dangerous from Sassy. Goes to the wall, tries to flash counter-strike, cancelled out by 369. Kill onto Kanavi, 2 kills on the Vi. That's nice. Now, the Vi will have a hard time later into the game going through counter-strikes and the Lulu and the barrier and the Xayah roll, but getting gold like that means you can get those random picks in the transition between objectives and laning phase and stuff like that, which can really change things.
Decent chunk there from SQW, but between worlds, going to be buffered by a Fate Seal, so ult for ult.
That was actually a really good invisibility predict by XQW there. As he jumps forward, Supreme jumps into invisibility, hits him with a Q3 anyway. That's what made that a little bit spicy. LGD though, much like the first game, onto the objective. First, Xayah. Oh, that's a good 3-man. And the recall cancel. That's a 4-man Ezreal. Jackalove might have just given Top Esports a window into this objective. Kanavi's coming down, doesn't have ult. That makes things difficult. Without the ult, I don't think you go for this.
Yeah, not going to be there quite in time to contest, so Dragon goes down. was on vision the entire time. They do delay the reset on SQW, doesn't have the teleport either, so Cream theoretically going to get half a wave advantage out of this, something like that. As the wave will be shoved under turret. And game stabilized here again. It's an early gold lead to top esports. Some of those early players, I think particularly mid and jungle, having a pretty good time. Kanavi being a bit of a menace on the Vi early on. That's kind of countered by the fact that Sassy, that early play against the Gnar, stopped the early lane snowball from being as obnoxious as it could have been in another scenario. Go into a bit of a state where we just kind of wait around. There's that really annoying siren on Ocean Song. Yeah, no, you can't hear it because you don't have your headphones on. But every time he unbinds his soul, get this Nino sound that just winds me up.
You know, it's there is so much I find endearing, there is so much really annoying. The endearing ones, for some reason for me, is Korean Lysandra. Because effectively, I think what ended up happening was, they didn't... Lysandra, when she was in development, had much longer cooldowns than she came out as live as. And then the problem was, every time she cast a Q, she'd go, and the Q was on like a 2-second cooldown. It was way too much. In the same way, Caitlyn got a rework in season 6 or something. And then she got a voiceover change as well back then. And every time she get a passive, the headshot, hang on, Cream might go for an ult here. In fact, he's jumping,
trying to get range, gets the passive auto.
Yeah, but every time that Caitlyn got a headshot, she'd go, boom, headshot. And then when you built Hurricane, Runan's Hurricane, you get a headshot off of each of the bolts.
Remember this?
So you would get a headshot every other ult. It's like boom, headshot, and it just wouldn't stop. In fact, it would overlap the auto attack line, the voice lines.
Oh,
that was
fabulous.
That was too much.
Don't think she has her fuzzy handcuffs line anymore.
Don't think she has.
Jada still has the what about 269 an hour or whatever it is.
5.95.
5.95. Oh, you know, do you? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, 5.95 a minute, Sam.
I'm sorry.
Of course, Sam. Connoisseur of voice lines.
Voice lines, language, of course, that's what it is.
Yeah. Top esports do get themselves the second round of grubs. XQW gets himself plates on the other side instead. Are you going to do anything special here? Nope. Anything really important to track here?
Attack a creep. A minion. The hell is he doing here?
Is this a Radiohead reference?
Yeah, because he's being special. So very special.
That's great, Sam.
You know?
Wonderful. Jack Love, wave clearing here. LGD doing a good job of sniping a couple of plates across. The gold's not too bad for LGD. I do get a little bit worried about the team fight later, because I don't think this is a clean-out scale game. It's good for them if they reach towards late game, because you have Xayah Lulu, which will be dealing with Vi, Rakanja, and jumping into the Gnar as well, so you have good anti-dive. But you are quite outranged by just Ezreal alone, and sometimes the Aurora can just randomly one-shot you as well, which feels really kind of bad. It's one of the worst things about playing against Aurora right now. It's a regular combo until you just kind of die.
Jackie Love. Taking a bit of chunk there from the Xayah of all people. Shaya put a lot of time into Xayah, one of his mainstays in the LDL. I'm pretty happy with the champion. Flash away from the Lulu. You mentioned that happens.
Sometimes Lily walks up, Ricardo presses W, she's like, I can't, I'm sorry, I didn't
No longer be here, yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand your game. I wasn't familiar with your game, that's the quote. As you can tell. I'm somewhat familiar with NBA and memes, not actually
The
NBA
NBA,
itself. Which is a shame, because I do like basketball.
It's a fun game. High scoring game as well, which is always quite entertaining.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm familiar with Kuroko no Basket.
That's
which is, you know, basically basketball with superpowers. Cream's gonna get a good chunk here. Yeah, this is the Aurora problem. Gets the electrocute out. SW.
Oh boy, needs to try and time this out best he can. The quickness, I think, might just time out and does. He'll have a cube 3. And has a flash and an ult! Burn's not going to be enough, and HQW is out. My goat.
True shot barrage. Here comes the ult. Where is it going? Is it on vision? It's not going to hit him as it stands right now, and it will go wide. Chris pulls his ult just a little too early. Uses the move speed to get in range, and XQW loses his ult and his flash. It is for the cost of 2 ultimates, well, 3 I guess from top esports, but instead of losing a death, you'll take that.
Looks like YCX also blew the heal himself to help keep XQW at a better HP point, while we were understandably tracking that ult flying towards the theoretical location of the Yone. Sassy, though, once again, the recipient of a visit from Vi. This is the 4th time that Vi's come top. Sassy will hop, flash. Gonna get cease and desist here. Mega Gnar's coming up. I don't know how much this Jax can do. Trying to stay away from the walls. He's got Grandmaster's Might running, but there's just nowhere to go.
Yeah.
This poor Jax, I just want to play a lane. Why have I got Vi Ricard here again?
But this is the thing with Sassy as it's happened in this series and in this split. Sassy coming up newly into the LPL, has not had an easy time of things. Did okay versus WE, but everyone's done well versus WE because they've really struggled themselves. Top Esports will give up a Dragon, and this is a good thing. Look, this is a good part of LPL, right? Dragon going down, immediate cross map. They go for the play on top side. They understand they do not want to go into an objective with a superior setup from LGD. They get a tower, they get a kill. Suddenly, what was a little bit rocky in the early game is now a win condition in the sideline for the Jax versus the Null. This is good for Top Esports. They just need to not make sure they lose this mid lane turret. That'd be a big loss, actually. Great demolish coming through, and they do lose the mid lane turret. LGD, as much as they're praising Top Esports, LGD have been better on the objective setup, and they've also been cross-mapping too.
And again, Kanavi, more active in terms of what we've seen on screen, in terms of the ganks and stuff. A couple successful ones, a couple with at least blown flash, and it's put Sassy into a really tricky spot. The thing is that you have still lost 2 dragons, you've still got to settle those grubs, you still get that turret in mid lane, and that feels pretty good there for LGD. Still going to beat Top Esports with the feat of strength, of course, because they got the first 3 kills and that first turret. And again, I still feel like Climate, you've got yourself a lot of setup here. Yet to see an ultimate from the man. Not really found an angle for
really
it.
Hurting them. Just highlighting this on the sides of your screens. There is a full level and a bit advantage to Kanavi. Do you know how hard that is to keep up in pro level? Very hard to do. That ult comes through. And there's your ult, Sam.
I was asking for it, and Climate delivers. Wonderfully donated over onto XQW. That Yone gets Blade of the Rune King and has a moment to kill the Bunnery a bit.
That's important. Climate finally gets himself onto the board somewhere. Kanavi is a lot of gold ahead of Climber, and the Vi will be a hell of a damage threat onto 1v1s and 2v2s. Vi wins almost every 2v2 in the game right now. It's insane how powerful that champion is. But wasn't there in time to finish off to help kind of turn things around. Stepping here, Chris, can you stop something? He doesn't quite do it. The time window had elapsed to cancel that. Top Esports playing all 3 lanes. Do give up that 1 kill, but they're still getting good value out of most of their, well, I say most of their lanes. They're actually not now, actually. They're getting some plates down, I suppose, onto Cream, but that's now a matchup in the side favor of Yone. So only really 369 that's benefiting, although he is benefiting very large from this.
He's going to get another turret here, and that is a big deal. He's already up 1,200 gold, was doing very well in that individual matchup. Do not get me wrong. A lot of this has been Top Esports preoccupied with ganking this Jax on repeat. But it has earned the Gnar that win condition status.
Once again, Top Esports cross-up. We talked about the Vi being a problem. There's a Q3 available for QW. Do they go in? Anyway, the Q flash is magnificent.
Beautiful.
Kanavi's on a roll. 3-0-1 on the Vi.
Force, relentless force. The E for the Vi is scary because still look to go forward. So remember, Vi burned a lot to do this. We'll try and play this one, but there's a passive proc from that. Oh, Chris comes on in with the Q and the W to buy some time. The quickness was there as well. Flash heal keeps the Vi alive. Can look to come on in. It's now a 2v3. And LGD will surely lose it. It looked like they picked up Kanavi with the permafrost passive, but didn't quite do it.
What a play from Top Esports. Climber will once again be slipping and falling. The ice pick's not enough to keep them on the cliff's edge. LGD are pushing mid lane, but they have lost out on this trade. Yeah, you can get a mid lane in a turret to teleport towards the side lane, but seriously well played from Kanavi and Chris to pick up the pieces in that top lane. They'll go towards a Herald as they lose the mid lane turret.
I genuinely thought after Kanavi had blown flash ult, the combo of the permafrost, the Jax should have been enough to finish off the fight, but just in range for a heal, just in range for a W and an R. Crisp saves the day. It'll be a trade of tier 2s in the end as well. SQW at least trade on the bot side. So LGD do claim some stuff back.
They get 2 turrets at the cost of a Herald, 2 turrets, and 2 kill. No, a turret. They had already got the top turret. So 1 turret for 2. One of them being an inner turret. So it's a little bit more gold in that mid lane. Less than the side lane inner turret, but still. SQW goes up to check what was happening with the Herald, but they don't have the objective set up this time. This is a magnificent Q flash. Oh, Kanavi. He's already so fed. If he hits you with a max rank Q with those items he's got, it's going to be a hell of a pain. Sassy jumps forward and does get the CC, and yes, you do manage to combo up with the permafrost and everything. But, you know, Vi manages to get themselves the Guardian Shield as they fly in. The heal from the Rakan Q doesn't even need to go onto him. Uses the heal from just the summoner spells to clean up Sassy as well. Kanavi and Chris. We've had some criticism for them throughout the regular split, but what a play there to save the top side.
I think if the Vi had died there, that fight gets really ugly afterwards because Sejuani plus Jax would be able to turn on to someone like that Aurora, and there's not a lot then that Crisp gets to do. They're just in time, and it keeps this in an interesting spot. Of course, Jackie Love, very quiet this game, is actually fairly notably behind the Zarya. He's picked up a few turrets, up a bit of CS, 1,000 gold ahead for that Zarya is pretty good. Yeah. 2 items complete, boots complete.
That's true.
In a good spot this game.
Top Esports haven't actually fought the Zarya yet, and the Zarya is now 1,000 gold up with the Zarya Lulu with a heal barrier. That is going to be hard to kill. So Top Esports can kind of understand them saying, well, play towards side lanes again. Not many people are playing towards side lane win conditions in this day and age. Not everyone, of course, actually. I say that is actually just did that message.
Just did
actually.
tried. The Fiora tried, I saw.
Yeah, but Kanavi jumping forwards. Who do they? Shy is not. Hang on, we're getting a 1v1 for 369 and Sassy as well. Goes in towards Mega Gnar though. That's an ult out from Sassy. 369 can teleport back into the player if he wants, but he won't have his Mega Gnar potentially for the fight.
Ooh, big
Top
jump.
Esports on the objective first.
Kanavi, control a banana bush, as we said, very valuable in this day and age, whatever the esport. Jackie Love looking for some Q accuracy on the side, and
Chris, that was ult.
Herald dropped.
This is much better setup from Top Esports. They actually have control of
hang on.
objective
Nice
first.
spammed. They found Chris. He's going to get a quickness down across multiple people. Bishai goes up into the air. Will still be on a feather pull. Gets the root, but not before Chris gets to escape with the battle dance. Now a massive between worlds. It's every member of LGD. Fate sealed away. They have to run. It doesn't matter because Nara's here. The wild growth will keep Climber alive for a second or two, but Dragon down, kill secured, and a wonderful engage from McCream at the back end of that.
Top Esports get the objective setup, and they use the Fog of War like a knife in the back to LGD. Yeah, they spot out Chris, but it's too late when they do it. Top Esports will use the Herald to force down mid. They get themselves a Dragon. They get themselves... They already have the feats of strength. In fact, was that their feats of strength?
No, they had it a while ago now, yeah.
I think that was it. Because,
no, they did. I talked about it earlier.
Because that is their second Dragon. They got the Herald and the Grubs. That Dragon actually did just get them the feats of strength.
Kills and turret. They got first turret.
You're right.
I even shut him about 10 minutes ago.
Sorry. I apologize. They have better feet and they've had them for
Guys,
a while.
Someone clip this because I'm not right versus Alex very much. So I need this. This is great.
Look, okay, back to the actual analysis of this. Chris uses the Fog of War like a knife. It's fantastic. The front line kind of collapses from LGD. They're not in the best place. The Feather Pull's good on the Chris, but it doesn't quite kill him. Even if it does, I don't think it changes that much. Cream gets a 4-man ult, almost 5. I don't think it catches Lulu just at the back end of that. But God, what a good combo. Ezreal gets to chase forward as well. The shape of the team fight is poor from LGD. They don't have the front line in front of the back line, which is a big problem. And Sharia can't really stand and fight. That gold on the Zaya didn't mean anything because they didn't do damage.
I'm looking at the side. There's now a 2.2 thousand gold lead for the Nart. There's a 2.6 thousand lead for this Vi, who's at 2 items completed very happily. Not that the Sejuani isn't at 2 items, can play lower economy, but bluntly, the problem is this Vi is a threat by herself, is matching solo lane as an experienced. Chris will throw down the quickness, but doesn't get all that much. No ult for XQW, but they get the withdrawal nonetheless. Bit ugly there. Nice knock up on a Cream, who's got a permafrost, tries to go between worlds and does so, and has to run out to safety. Other side, Sassy, training up for 369, and Jackie in mid lane, going to try and claim this tier 2, hops forward for the Essence Flux, and be able to proc that with an auto in a second or two.
And you know, LGD, I think they've typically been doing quite well at cross-mapping, but now they don't have the gold to have the same value when they're in one lane compared to the other. Even in Grubs, that helps, but Top Esports, they're winning a lot of the 2v2s and stuff like that. Cream, really well played there to actually just outspace Leona and get some damage back before he popped back to Soul and Bound. 369, huge advantage. Kanavi, what a game Kanavi has had. From having a 1-7 Olaf game to 4-0. Kanavi just occasionally turns it on and becomes the best jungler in the damn league.
And again, he has left his long time home of JDG. Looking to deliver here on Top Esports, and it hasn't been that clean.
L369 doesn't have Mega, but he's on the flank, and he does have a free GA. 5v5 in the bot side. XQW comes down to play as well. Tower's gone. Top Esports very happy at just clumping up, getting some value.
This time it feels like the scoreline reflects the lead that 369 has. 3-1-1, 2.4 thousand gold up. Probably going to back and buy another half to full item because he's so damn strong. And yes, the Jax will eventually be a threat in the side lane, but it's going to be a long while from now because Sassy has just struggled to find a lane where he can actually be in without multiple members of Top Esports there to break his ankles in.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't think LGD have been playing that badly.
No,
as
I
a
don't
unit.
either.
I think the way they've been playing the map has been good, in the same way that we praised TT the other day. They've been really good at playing the map. LPL, it's beaten into you pretty hard that you must have another player available to you pretty much at all times. If someone is making a play, you can test it or you cross map. You don't get nothing. You don't make sure that you're losing something for free, right? Unless there are no other options. Sometimes neutrality is actually an option. So I mean, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to diss that. But cross mapping in LPL has always been good.
369 upgrades his steel caps into Vanguard's Approach. Is that the one it is? It's the upgraded steel caps. into, in fairness, multiple auto-attackers, so for all it's perhaps inefficient, in this game at least, feels like there is some value to the upgraded
I know
boots.
the MR ones are the chain-laced crushers.
Ooh, good
You have
name.
Spellslinger's shoes for the...
that one, yeah.
I think this one's like the Ceaseless Advance or something like that.
I thought it was like Vanguard's Advance, possibly, but I might be wrong. I knew something Advance. I'm taking over the cash for a second as my brother is struggling mildly with allergies.
Yeah.
He's allergic to slow League of Legends, guys. He needs some action.
Fight. I must stop sneezing.
Hey, Alex, have you taken your antihistamines today?
No.
No, he hasn't, guys.
No, I haven't.
Tell Alex to take his antihistamines, chat.
No.
I refuse. I will just suffer because I'm
actually,
stubborn.
hang on, actually-
You've got some in front of you. Okay, take your bloody antihistamines. That's fine.
Oh man, as we slow down, it's really hard for LGD to play this now. Look at look at all these wards.
So miserable.
Everything here. There's people in every lane. You don't really get to walk anywhere without top esports knowing about it.
You know what the comp that really wants to dive in and burst you is not going to enjoy? Mountain dragons.
Have you know, folks, I take levocetirizine. Someone said cetirizine. Levocetirizine makes you less sleepy because it's already kind of been broken down in the right way.
Yeah.
Because you can just sedate yourself with antihistamines.
It's hard to get it now. I don't think they make it so much anymore.
Yeah, anyway, I got some.
Congratulations.
Yay. Baron is obviously alive now at this point. Top users don't have themselves out of Khan. Do have themselves a lot of gold. That's an increasing gold lead in the jungle.
Ooh.
Because not only does Kanavi have access to his own camps if he wants them, he'll take a couple when he comes out of base and resets. It's on the, hang on a second, he's going to be able to force ult. That's a lot of damage!
Shy is not in a great spot, and Kanavi's in danger of some massive knock with the Between Worlds! Leads to the end of the game. There is no way at this point that LGD gets a hold on.
SQW just TP'd to kill the
Oh
wave.
my days,
but,
huge.
But there's another wave in bot lane.
Oh no.
Kanavi has just taken this game by himself. He says, all right, game one, not the best for me. I'll show you what I can do with a good enough early game lead. Kanavi, fantastic game from him on the Vi. Real all-star performance from him.
Trying to flash under the backline, get something here, but even with the wave destruction, XQW has run out of tricks in the bag. 13 seconds of Shy will not be enough. They'll head straight towards the turrets, and Top Esports, they snowballed through the mid game, and it has come back to roost now. Swift set of picks leads to a very quick end to the game.
And it feels bad to say, but once again, in the late game, when it comes to the clutch, it's once again Shaya getting caught out. Shaya caught out by Kanavi this time, and you'd think, oh, okay, this one I can somewhat understand, because, hey, who expects the Vi to do a solo mission to just kind of one-shot you in the backline? Well, you kind of have to when Vi's like that. LGD now on elimination point for themselves. If LGD were to lose any of the next 3 games, they're out. They go through as 3rd seed, and they'll be seen again in Split 2. On the other side, Top Esports, they will qualify yet again, and Kanavi, Jackie Love, 369, Cream, and Chris would make another playoffs for all of themselves. These players very rarely miss playoffs, and it was very unlikely that they were going to today. But LGD, they are feeling the anger of such players of being taken to the brink in game 1.
Violence was occurring, and again, that was really good play. And again, it felt like LGD early on were at least trading. Felt like they were getting turrets. There were some moments, but Climber, bluntly, on that Sejuani, I saw him throw one ultimate that was useful.
Yep.
What did Kanavi get done? Oh, he gave a couple of objectives.
However,
massive deal.
And I understand that from Climber.
Yeah.
We saw a game like this from IG yesterday when there was a dive from a Zyra and the Nidalee got to farm and get a farm advantage. Same thing happened here.
Yeah.
Level 1, Top Esports, do an invade to put down some preliminary invasion, defend their own side of the jungle, and they force the enemy team off of a good level 1 start. If you don't recover well from a delayed jungle start,
it's
game
awful.
Falls apart. Kanavi invades him on his second round of camp, not second round of camps, on his second quadrant of camps, because he has that timing advantage. Goes from his own quadrant, enemy quadrant, forces out Climber, gets a kill on him, he blows the flash. Kanavi never looks back.
And you get into this position then as a jungler, it's like, well, I have to finish my clear or I'm going to be late on things like level 6. It's going to be late in terms of my ability to turn to objectives and be valuable, because the early level advantages in jungle matter a lot. And then it means you're then not available to start up those objectives. You're not available to match the ganks and stuff as well. And Kanavi gets that free camp lead effectively in terms of just where you are on the map that matters so damn much.
And this is why it was so exciting to watch, Kanavi versus Tarzan earlier in the group stage as well. You had like Tarzan with Tabe as the coach behind them, and you have Hom, who's come back to Top Esports for 369. 369, Kanavi and Hom on JDG. They ran the league.
2023.
Actually, one of the reasons we thought that JDG kind of fell apart last year was because Hom wasn't with the team. He's come back now. I think he took a year off because he had a kid and he wanted to spend some time with his
Congratulations,
newborn, which makes a lot of sense. But that trio of 369, Kanavi, and Hom has been rock solid. If we can then have these kind of matchups of that, and then you have, you know, a couple of other coaches and player combos coming through later into playoffs, it's kind of insane. Yeah. Well, here's our post-game stats.
Oh dear.
That's a lot of damage from Cream. Oh my god.
Not a lot of damage from LGD as well. We said in the draft that LGD require the ability to go forwards. They don't get to dither, they don't get to wait around, they need to all in because they are horribly outranged. They have got 3 melees and a short-range AD carry. And despite the gold leads, that is a 10,000 gold, 10,000 damage lead everywhere.
Someone just brought up the points. Xiaoya was out-damaged by his supports. The Lulu.
Oh, good God.
The Lulu did more damage than the AD carry.
Oh, good God. Oh, no. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't think it's this game was difficult because the Xayah never got to teamfight, right? You never actually got to use the Xayah, but still, that says a lot about LGD in general here. Like, they never actually got to play the game their way, really. They might actually trade, yeah, but that was as a response to what TLP Sports were doing. I never saw them make a proactive group play this entire game.
I think Top Esports did a good job of avoiding the Xayah for the early parts of the game until they got such a game-breaking, a spine-breaking advantage that you couldn't play anyway. You go take your breaks, it's fine. Okay, folks, I'm going to go put on some adverts. We'll find out the MVP, and we'll come back for what could be our last game of the regular season. I think Sassy's been outclassed. He had that 1 kill into 369. Yes, that worked. I think SQW's not been that bad, actually. I think it's been fine, but you're going to see that Top Esports, their pedigree is so good. Very good at making the clutch plays in the moments where it counts. LGD, yeah, they got a bit Kanavi this game. And, like, game 1, they had the worst version of Kanavi early game, where he couldn't really team fight very easily. And even then, Kanavi had some incredible late game plays. And yeah, he did go 1-6, like, I'm not going to cover that, but it was very hard for him to play that well. That was as good as it gets. Now you're against Kanavi, who's actually really switched on the monitor, connected the keyboard and mouse. God, this was not close. It wasn't close. Cream did do very well. I think it's Kanavi. Kanavi shutting out Climber from the early game, absolutely insane. Making the game-winning pick. I think it's Kanavi as my MVP for sure. Oh, this pick is so good. But why is he walking there? There is no reason to walk there near the Fog of War. And I think also you have to just ult the initial combo from the Vi. If Vi gets a Q into auto reset on you, you die. And that's bluntly what we saw, right? That's what we saw. By the way, folks, I have taken antihistamines now. I'm going to feel better for it, hopefully. Well, it'll kick in about 20 minutes video. Anyway, folks, if you've been enjoying the content which we're doing right now, my name's Nymaera. The person I'm casting with is my brother, Initialise. You'll catch us here on the LPL, and for those of you who've been here for the rest of the stream, you've heard this spiel before. We're brothers, we cast League of Legends. We will be casting LEC later today, if that's a region you enjoy as well. We'll be casting Mobster Koi versus BDS. So catch us for a rare opportunity to see brothers cast an official Tier 1 game of League of Legends. Absolutely insane. I still think Sassy has had some good games this split, especially on Rumble, but it's always an uphill battle of a rookie against 369, especially when you're behind the map as a team, for sure. Sure, and our MVP is Kanavi. Of course it's Kanavi. Oh, he's played very well, hasn't he? He's played very, very well. Put that up there as well. I need to put my socials on there so people may be followers on our various socials. And of course, if you're watching on Onivia highlights as well, I hope you're enjoying the show, especially after LCK has just ended with an incredible series over there. Get to enjoy a bit of a different region and catch up with some of our players. Of course, Kanavi never played in the LCK, but was behind Tarzan. Of course, he just shares a group with him right now in this split of LPL. On Griffin, he was the guy that was behind Tarzan, who was the jungler of his era, really. Still is kind of the jungler of his era. He's a fantastic player, Tarzan. Tarzan, Kanavi, so glad we get to see them over and over. Great players. Really enjoy watching them play. So if you enjoy what we're doing here, please drop a like, drop some comments. Let us know how we're doing. If there's stuff you'd like to see changed, anything you'd like to see added to the stream. We'll see what we can do. We don't have that many resources. We're doing it for the love of the broadcast. There is no official LPL broadcast now, so we're doing it ourselves. And we hope you enjoy that we're doing it. Because that's who we're doing it for. Doing it for the LPL community. That's... Oh, this is Sejuani ult missed. Didn't even realize that in the combo at the time. But yeah, if you enjoy what we're doing, or if you think there's stuff we can improve on, let us know. Let us know, because we'd love to do that for you guys. On paper, a huge mismatch? Yeah, absolutely on paper this is a whole mismatch. Which is why the first game was kind of important for LGD. They actually got themselves better draft. They managed to survive through the early game. They got a good early game. The fact that they lost that game was really kind of messy. All MVP votes for Kanavi? Yeah. Yeah, it is. That's actually not very helpful having the social thing there at that point. Ah, shall ya. Did Cream outdamage the entire enemy team? He didn't quite. Hey, Angie. I will hydrate. He almost outdamaged the entire enemy team by but he was short by 2,000 damage. That's insane. Okay, I will get some hydration now, folks. Okay, folks, I'm gonna turn the camera off a little bit. We'll let the break play. Did I turn the menu music on? Yes, I did. Cool. I'm gonna get myself a drink, and then we'll be back for potentially our last game of the regular season. Playoffs is just around the corner. It starts on the 22nd. That will be this Saturday. And there will be 2 best of 5s today. There'll be an early one, and then one starting at the time where the series normally do. I don't know exactly how we're going to do that. We might have to solo cast one of them, especially since I'm working next weekend as well. So, you know, wish me luck, folks. Wish me luck. Okay, I'm going to head off. I'm going to... You want the chair stream? I'm sorry. I like having the stuff on here. I'm going to go get hydrated. I'm back, and this time I've got juice. I have passion fruit juice. Turns out passion fruit juice is really available in Berlin, so I just get a load of it. Top East, what's up 2-0? We kind of expected this would be a 3-0, but yeah. Was just affirming that Cream put in serious work this game before even Team Fight. Yeah, he also got a lot of chunk before the Team Finals, which is kind of huge because that's one of the big kind of extra factors they can throw into it. It's like, you're not going to turn up to fights at full HP. Is Doinby on NIP? Yes, he is. Doinby is playing on NIP, and he's top of his group. Group D. They went 3-0 in terms of series. They lost a single game to IG. And IG went through his second place. They 3-0'd FPX to get through his second seed. So what we have now is we have our first seeds from each group are Anyone's Legend, JG, Thunder Talk Game. Hang on, I've gotta unmute this.
我们现在前面会刷新2个，然后还有一个先锋就是中立资源会比以前更加多一点，然后如果可能需要注意的话，就是可能我觉得就是跟团队的整体配合吧，就是在团队配合的时候就是衔接好一些技能就好了。老干爹的打法风格的话，感觉他们就是5个比较有那种很喜欢打架的一个选手，然后他们的一些英雄选择也是都是那种比较强力的一些带有输出跟控制一些比较简单就好杀人的一些英雄，就是跟他们打的话需要注意点的话，感觉就是在我们自己在取得优势的时候，就是我们要做好自己的团战的部分，就是不要给到对面机会。第一赛段只剩最后一场，目标肯定就是取得胜利嘛。然后决心的话就是大家一起加油吧，回去好好练习，然后好好复盘，改正我们现在的缺点，然后成为一个更好的队伍。
Does Chris have that bad an accent? Okay, let's Does Chris have that bad an accent? Oreo's in chat was saying, I don't understand. Yeah, he slurs his words so much. It's really hard to tell what he's saying.
Chris got a really interesting.
So it's kind of funny. So I think so. Knight has such kind of like a rural accent that it's like, wow, even Ruler, who was in China for like 2 years or whatever, even he's got better Chinese than Knight because the accent just makes it very hard for like some other people to tell what he's saying.
Understand. Yeah, I mean, like,
Oh, it's not an accent for Chris. He just slows his words. Yeah. Oh, does not have a lisp. Didn't realize.
oh, there you go.
Cool. What is this? Well, that's Nightbringer Yone, obviously, or whatever it is. Oh, is that? No. That's that's High Noon.
Oh, is it? Yeah, it is.
That'll be like one of the special chromas or something, isn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Well, we might have ourselves our last game of the regular split coming up next.
Man.
And then we'll be on to playoffs. Would it sound like having a scouser? So do you see there's this guy who's like some accents just sound really bad when you speak them in other languages, like Scouse in Japanese.
Oh, is it?
Sumimasen.
Sumimasen. Onegaishimasu.
Onegaishimasu.
Namabiru onegaishimasu. Kudasai. One-san.
Onegaishimasu.
It just doesn't work. I will say the best Scouse accent I've heard recently was Metaphor. They've got a pair of Scouse characters there who were kind of like sort of like mafia thugs type thing. They're really good characters and they do the Scouse accent properly well. And lending a lot of sense of like very Scouse. It's well localized.
Yeah. The best Welsh accents, I think, are in Elden Ring.
Oh,
Ring
yeah,
has very good
they
Welsh
have.
accents. So we're half Welsh.
Yeah.
Vedius is also full Welsh. If we get a tri-cast between three of us, there are two whole Welsh people.
I'm only one English person.
There's one English person and two Welsh. If we just kind of like split them up.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'd have like the most Welsh cast we can like possibly have.
Without the addition of like, I don't know, a sheep or Tom Jones.
Yeah. Wait, are there any sheepskins in League? Poro's kind of
Surely.
replaced though. I actually don't think there's a sheepskin.
Is it not?
I feel like there should be a wolf in sheep's clothing for
I feel like-
for Warwick, especially since he was just played in.
I kind of just need like a little sheep skin for Yumi.
That would be kind of cute. Yeah. All's Welsh that ends Welsh. Get out. No,
Yeah,
don't
get
get out.
out.
No, you fund our stream too much. You can't get out. Yeah.
See if I can do it. Well, like what was it?
Lamb.
Shan-
Oh,
Lamb. That's
there's
it.
a whole sheep champion. There's Lamb. How?
That's
Oh,
so true.
I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. Of course, there's Lamb. In
We've even got
Kindred.
Kindred Mask. It's so true.
Oh, I'm not clever. I am very not clever. I am double plus unclever. Oh, that is not good. How did I manage that?
It was a cold April morning, and the clocks were striking 13. Other such 1984 quotes. You know the person that Cadril cancelled his ult on?
No.
It was Mini Trupax on Vitality.
Oh, who's
Mi-
Attila?
Who is, of course, now Attila. But Mini Trupax is a 1984 reference. It's the
no, it's
Ministry.
not.
Yes, it is. It
No,
is the
no,
Ministry
it's
of
not.
It's the Ministry of Truth and Peace.
No, he chose his name because he looked up to someone called Trupax and he considered them their mentor figure, so called himself Mini Trupax. Doesn't call himself that anymore because that player and that person ended up being quite a bad person,
no.
actually. But actually, no. The reason why Attila called themselves that is because of a person who was in their life beforehand. We had an interview about this on NLC in 2022.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that one.
So that one's actually. So I'm sure there is a Mini Trupax in it in 1994. Don't get me wrong, but the reason for his specific name is actually because of a person whose name called himself Trupax. What are you searching, Sam?
I'm trying to remember the ministries were called in 1984.
Yeah. Imagine if you get your tri-cast at Worlds with Shun on Kindred. Well, we do occasionally call ourselves the Kindred of Casting. We are brothers in microphones, play-by-play and colour. I'd say never one without the other, but actually, it's very cool when we do get to cast together after spending some time apart as well. Into our Game 3 draft. Top Esports 2-0 up.
I'm glad to see I wasn't entirely wrong. So there was the three ministries: the Ministry of Truth, Ministry of Peace, and the Ministry of Love, known as Mini True, Mini Pax, and Mini Love. The Ministry of Truth was there for disinformation and lies. Mini Pax was to do with war, and the Ministry of Love was all the re-education stuff. But that
Very, very different.
is very different to what's on screen right now.
Poppy
as
banned out.
It's probably a little bit of a ban against. I know Kanavi has been a Poppy player in the past, and I obviously know that.
It's a very good support pick,
yeah,
because
and
what it
369
does,
plays it as well.
what it also does is open up Rel a lot easier, because Poppy beats Rel in lane pretty well right now. Varus up and available might be something that top users want to ban away, though Shaya not had the best series really, not had the best split on the whole. In such an important series to you for LGD, falling apart a little bit. The Ambassador goes away. What's your first pick? Varus seems to be a very consistent, versatile champion. Udyr locked in instead. That one is surprising to me. It means you will probably have a strong level 1 plan with lane swaps involved. Very strange to see it first picked over stuff like the Varus, though.
Some fun hovers here, but we'll see exactly what 369 locks in for his team. Worth noting as well, we've gone very much on the Enchanter front for its supports this series. We've got the Lulu, the Seraphine, there's a Renata, even Rakan, right, is not exactly your standard frontline support that we've seen a lot of at the minute. So most of those supports are up and available, and it has left that Varus you were talking about
Also,
up and available, and Arel is very fine as a pairing there.
I think last year, Jakilov was the best poke Varus player in the world. I think this guy was insane on it in the regular seasons he played it on anyway. Jakilov's poke Varus is one of the very best out there. So giving him that champion is a big, big risk that LGD have taken. They could have first picked this.
I'm just saying, Wukong's up and available and the Vi down. It feels like Wukong has got to be right up there as an option. Instead, the Aatrox that was hovered for first pick is locked in. I don't know how I feel about Aatrox right now. He's not been fantastic in the lane swaps. We saw Aatrox the other day get manhandled, been locked in Game 5 versus Thundertalk, and got walked over, bluntly. Ended up falling a long, long way behind. Didn't really find a lot of utility out of the World Ender himself. And now I think Climate might be debating a Wukong. Has put a fair amount of time into that champion itself. But again, a lot of junglers have. Alongside the Ahri, got a good little dive combo coming on for LGD if they decide to finish up that one. It is, however, just a hover, and there are a lot of options to go with.
I really, really don't like this Aatrox pick by Top Esports. You see an Udyr. Yes, the Aatrox does fine in a 1v1 against them, but Aatrox is awful in lane swaps if they swap on them. You need to have a very strong level 1 now for Top Esports to justify picking this Aatrox. We've seen Zeus, Bin, and I'm trying to remember who else has been playing it, but a lot of players picking up the Aatrox, and it's looked really bad. It's gone awful KDA throughout everything. The Rise has picked in. That one's been a very strong pick, but an XQW has been playing quite well for LGD. Kanavi on Nidalee might be able to solve the level 1 for Top Esports and buy 369 as standard lanes.
Yep, because the one thing you can do with the Varus and Nidalee early on is really force prio, and if you do lane swap, it can be a bit miserable, and you can do quite a lot to defend it, as the Wukong will not be able to match that speed there, and the Varus tends to generate shove just incidentally by the fact he's got two very scary AoE abilities that fire from a long, long way away in the Hail of Arrows and the Piercing Arrow.
Oh wait, did Zeus just win a Game 5 with Aatrox?
Oh my god, really?
So maybe it is working out.
okay.
Hey, I just saw 3 games of a race and I was like, okay, this champion kind of sucks. So maybe the fortunes are changing. Maybe the days of Aatrox wins. Second round of bans. I think Braum ban away is really good, especially if you're going Udyr, Wukong. Yeah, Wukong doesn't like playing into that Braum. Really nasty playing into it. We haven't had a Leona pick this series either. That was wild.
I'm just saying, I bet 369's gone home, my friend. My great rival, my great arch nemesis Zeus over in the LCK just won a game on Aatrox. I need to prove that I can do it too.
Hey, whatever you can do, I can do. I could also attempt to do.
I could do to a bargain bucket level. That's really unfair, because 369 is genuinely a fantastic player.
And he's had a good split. I think, look, his last year wasn't the best, I don't think.
It wasn't 369 level.
It wasn't 3, especially when you compare it to his year on JDG and his Top Esports years before that. Yeah, he'd struggled in that level. So, Top Esports looking the way for Cream. Cream's, in terms of his mages, his way might be his best mage,
I think that's fair. I'm also looking at this now, and you've got yourself a very nasty poke comp between the Varus, between the Nidalee, between the Hui. You are going to be playing Bullet Hell, you're going to be playing DDR, and LGD, once again, with quite a short-range composition, Xiaoye has drafted his Draven. That was always one of those potential win conditions for the LGD Academy squad. Lock it in with YCX on the Nautilus. You need this early game to go well, because you are short range, you want to get ahead, you want to stay ahead.
But now the problem is, you've locked in that Draven, so I think what you need to happen now, LGD need a lane swap. Draven is good in lane swaps, because you almost always get a kill in the first dive of the game. That means, technically, you can try and look for that first cash-in of the game on Draven much easier.
Yeah.
Top Esports, they don't want Aatrox to be in a dive situation. Aatrox is awful in level 1, level 2 dives. Really needs a few levels to get something out of that. Top Esports want to play through standard lanes, and they'll need to have a good level 1 to secure that.
And again, Udyr, fantastic in lane swaps on top of it. So yes, I think so. And this will be the challenge for this early game. Can LGD secure a lane swap? Can Top Esports deny it? I feel like on the whole, Top Esports have played their early game mind games a lot better. They played around the vision. They played around the invades significantly more. I want to say adroitly. I just don't know how to pronounce that word. It was
Adroitly, isn't it?
Adroitly, yeah. They said I don't actually know how that word is pronounced. In fact, I'm going to look that up briefly, because I went for it and went,
we've talked about that early game. If we get through into mid and late game, the poke from Top Esports is disgusting. Varus, Hui, Nidalee, you get hit by 2 out of the 3, even 1 out of 3 in late game, and the game starts to fall a pop. Let's get ourselves into the Rift as we prepare for what could be our last game of the regular season. Top Esports, if they win this, go through into playoffs. LGD, if they lose this, well, they're out. They will go through as third seed into the next split. They are promoted to spectator.
Adroitly is the correct pronunciation.
I got it right.
You did.
Nice.
With that little bit of smugness for Alex, we head over to what might well be our last game of the day. LGD should well have won game 1. Game 2. Top Esports put them to the proverbial sword. I suppose the giant gauntlet, really. It was on the back of Kanavi's fist. Now to the ref for the 3rd time today. Potentially our last. So, as it stands, LGD have not moved their lanes. Nautilus, Draven, Udyr, all in standard positions. Interestingly though, Top Esports have moved their laners, their bot laners, towards the top side of the map. I'm seeing you post about the double comets there. Poke definitely coming through for both.
Yeah, so Jaculov not going to be DPS, which might be a problem if Udyr gets very tanky, but for everyone else, they are going to explode if they get hit by enough skill shots. Now, the thing is, Top Esports, what they ended up doing is, of course, placing down a few wards. There's a blue ward down here as well. Have they done enough to secure standard lanes? They moved their bot lane up to the top side of the map first, just to make sure there wasn't a strong level 1 invade, and they are going to get standard lanes. This is a win for Top Esports. LGD didn't do enough in the level 1 to secure a lane swap. Maybe they thought that Top Esports would initiate themselves. I don't like them playing through standard lanes. Top Esports have incredibly good laners, and the champions they have are much better in standard lanes than lane swap, especially that Aatrox into the Udyr. I think this is a big win already at the level 1 for Top Esports. LGD didn't quite get the intro to the game they wanted.
Sassy wasn't quite in time to get a couple of those minions as well, so drops a couple early farm. Don't think he was quite in range for XP for at least one of those minions' death as well. Just about.
I'm not sure. You can see it obviously on that. At first I was questioning it. Either way, dropping a bit of gold will affect the first back.
Bot side though, still going to look for this play. And again, Draven Nautilus in the level 1, still very scary. Managed a decent chunk there, even if they couldn't force the switch for that aggressive dive they may have been looking for.
Yeah, luckily Crisp had the crash down shield already, so had a bit of safety. Managed to get the aftershock as well by throwing the Nautilus over the shoulder. Kanavi clearing very, very fast. Of course, he will be your Kanavi's Nidalee. Now, we have seen 3-minute Kanavi, I say Kanavi just because I see Nidalee so much on him. Seen 3-minute jungle plays from Nidalee. We'll see exactly how quick that's going to go. Climbers walking through onto the buff. This is seen though. Spear lands onto the blue. It might actually help him get through into this. Second smite coming up. However, with the bot lane winning the early trade, does mean LGD have their Nautilus here first.
Everyone's coming. Climber secures the blue buff. Kanavi doesn't smite. Nice QW onto Climber. Gets a bit of a chunk back onto the Wukong. And YCX at the level 2 will hook away.
This could be a problem. He's used the hook. It goes on half cooldown, but still rank 1. Do they have another CC coming in? Ghost popped in by Rise.
Gonna keep chunky, and now comes Xiaoya looking for those autos to come on down. Crash down away, and Top Esports back out. Summoner blown by XQW. We do back out from this.
And also they get the steal away from Nidalee, which is important because Nidalee, we know how damn quick she clears through everything and gets ahead of the game. Getting a camp away on the first clear removes some of the power at the level 4 kind of scuttle crab fights. Did that lead to anything in the bot lane? Hang on, that's the gank onto Cream.
Gets the fear, but a flash on forward for the crushing blow, force a return flash as well.
Cream, really good play from him in the last 2 skirmishes. The first one we saw and then this one in lane. He drops down that shield pool from the utility in a great moment. People forget that Hawaii does actually have like this AoE shield for his team. Very really help.
Yeah.
Just level 2, not quite able to get the stun there onto
Pool of Tranquility is the name of that one.
It's the one. And then there's the Tide. There's effectively Nami E, which gives you mana and damage on your next auto attacks and abilities. And then there's also the shield as well. Hook onto Jackie.
Nice hook. It's gonna get a bit of a Guardian shield at least, but a flash away from Jackie. Still in danger. They keep going forward. Last order's coming on through. Surely gets the cash in and does. Keep trying to run away. Xiaoya alive. The ignite time's up, but over comes the Nidalee. Misses the javelin toss, but I think Xiaoya's just saying, I'm going to die. I want to at least get some minions on the way out.
Kanavi's going to get the 1 kill. They're not going to get another one. But still, cash in for Xiaoya. Gets himself an extra, I believe I saw 147 gold on the cash in. So it's a kill and a half, really. What's he going to come back into lane with? Again, we'll see what the build's going to be too. Vamp Scepter plus some extras. It's a nice start to the game for him. A hook through the wave, threading the needle from YCX. This bot lane, which has really struggled in this series, particularly Xiaoya. YCX has actually been giving himself a good name for himself. The Seraphim game earlier was really good. Gets the thread, the needle hook.
YCX. He genuinely has had a good series. He really has. That Seraphim was great. This Nautilus, excellent hooks. And against Jackie Love, of all players as well, playing Draven into Jackie Love. All right, Shaya. And YCX, again, will die. It's not a clean kill and getaway. Kanavi was swift enough to get over here, at least get one back. But still, nice early start and a unnecessary one for LGD.
Insane stuff. Because it's going to look a little bit weird. Because why didn't it hit the minion? He throws out the hook, and by the time the hook would have hit the minion, it's gone past it, right? So the minion then moves into where the hitbox would have been a little bit later. There are some fun skill shots you can do with hitbox snipes as well, because champions are a little bit fatter than minions. And she got on a bit of a diet. Climber, XQW, trying to get themselves their teeth into this bot lane as well. Hook under turret, not the best though.
Takes a bit of damage, will look to back away, doesn't have a flash though. They get a kill on the Varus, it's traded back, teleports fly. And again, another cash in, and it's the AD carry dying. It's on the other side though, Climber being run down, trying to trade another Xiao, does a decent work, but there's an Infernal Chain to get pulled back in. Teleport gets its value.
Now that's a problem, because you've just given 369 some gold from that Aatrox. Nidalee got a kill onto the Wukong at the same time, so it ends up being a 3-for-1, all things said and done in that trade. The only bonus is Udi gets some alone time on tower, but that is not what you wanted. Cream also spent some time alone in mid lane as XQW roamed down to get that. LGD cash in a lot of their early game power to make that dive happen, and they don't get the most out of it. That's not good for them.
The gold lead actually decreases between the Draven and the Varus, despite the fact that Varus died under the turret. There's a couple assists and then actually a kill that was secured by Jackie under that turret. Makes it quite tricky. Over the grubs we go. Top Esports starting those ones up. Sassy, a little bit annoyed that his opposing laner comes back with an additional kill.
But 369 has actually not managed to go back to base yet. He teleported straight out of lane, so he doesn't have any items. He doesn't draw on shield. There's the Bramble Vest on Sassy. Of course, not always the most helpful, because if Aatrox just doesn't auto-attack you and doesn't get any value on that. However,
he's got no items and no ults.
No items, no HP bar. Flash in from Sassy for that. Not going to be able to get him easy. Dive on the other side, though.
YCX misses the dredge line, went straight through the uprights. And unfortunately, does not get any value or any CC there. That's so sad.
We praised him quite a lot before.
We did, it was quite good.
But he missed a
important hook.
He missed a hook under the tower.
Really important,
and then he missed one in the driver.
Yeah, I know.
It was really pretty bad.
Did we curse the man?
I think we cursed the man.
I think we cursed the man.
I think we cursed the man. Going back into lane now. Look, now 369's got some of his items, but now he's 400 gold behind on Sassy. He's gotten a plate from both turrets. He's spent some time on alone. What happened here then? So Chris goes out of vision. This is nice, actually. Gets the shield from it too. YCX gets spotted. Is just slow to the play. Kanavi's there at the right timing. The important thing about playing Nidalee and stuff like this is you have to have good timing with your other members on the map. The CC's there. It's a point-and-click spear after that point. Once again, Kanavi off to the races early on. 2-0-1, almost up to a Leandries. The quickest Leandries I've seen is 8 minutes in pro, because that was Tarzan or Tien. I think it was Tien, actually, or maybe Tarzan. Well, it was one of the two. And they kind of just took over the game after that point. Kanavi's going to get it on a pretty similar timing. He'll get it on the next backs, assuredly. He'll probably get it before, we'll definitely get it before 10 minutes, especially with the 2-0-1 scoreline. He is a scary Cougar.
Just saying, got 8 kills in 8 minutes. If we get another couple skirmishes, we could be in a position where, you know, maybe a Ravenous angle. I just need to see LGD continue the aggression. Keep making plays, folks. Keep giving me blood for the blood god, literally in Atacama, and we might look at something not orange on our scoreboard.
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, we had 16 kills in 14 minutes and didn't do it. We're currently in 8 kills in 8 minutes. You need to be closer to 2 kills a minute to get it.
Is that what it is? That's very
Because
high.
remember, they changed it from patch 1 to patch 2 of the season. It's a hard ask to get that. You know? It's a really hard ask. So
it feels like VCS only.
Yeah, we'll get it in some academy leagues. We'll get it in some like deeply unserious games. I thought we'd get it in at least one LPL game, but we didn't. We haven't seen. And the problem is, a lot of the kills come in from like 14 minutes to 20 minutes when you've already got your first items and you're leaving lane.
Playing around those discrepancies.
The problem is, in pro play, people still stick in their lanes until, 10 minutes. I mean, there'll be like a fight around grubs, a fight around dragon maybe, but you're not going to get that many kills. It has to all come from lane, and it's really hard to get that much on it.
Blue buff scoop by Climber doesn't have that invade come on through. It's actually matching the farm well enough here with the Nidalee. The problem is the Nidalee's got 2 kills early, and that feels very sad. Climber better have a clone available, because he might need to leave here. Sees where Jackie is, backs away, doesn't get hit by anything like a Chain of Corruption, and Cream roaming from the mid lane will secure that Gromp steal for Kanavi. And prepare ourselves here for second set of grubs spawning in about 45 seconds. Dragon.
Oh, I hope he has a clone. I looked down to that bit of the place where they see the cooldowns. I'm like, hang on.
I can't see.
No. I sat there like, hang on. Normally my socials thing is over there. That's the bit which is meant to advertise our stream. Hang
I
on.
need that. That's important.
I need that at some point because it lets people know who we are. Nymaera, this is Initialise. We're brothers.
Hi.
We cast LPL, and this is our last season, last regular season series. So we'll see what the top esports can make this a clean one.
This is our last season as humans.
Our last season as humans.
We're evolving into the perfect caster being.
Coming to an IMAX near you.
Caster brothers, brothers that cast.
One that explains, both that shout.
Too many Star Wars references for one real man to take.
We will watch their career with great interest.
I think you'll find this reference machine is fully operational.
It always is. It always is. Top esports, 1,000 gold ahead, heading up towards the grubs first. Kanavi needs to watch out a little bit for Sassy on this. This Udyr is strong right now. This Udyr is strong. Jackulov, not in the best, but that's a great combo into Climber though. They'll steal one grub away. They'll get them one out of the three. Can see though, this choke point, not the easiest.
Oh, gets the hook, and the flash doesn't keep them alive. That's a massive amount of damage that comes back on board. Xiaoye cashes in on the Aatrox, big deal. But the spiraling fair to Y6 will surely mean that is traded. Sassy in danger. Massive cyclone though from Climb, who gets to the backside. Xiaoye flashing forward onto Kanavi, trying to heal up with the primal surge and will not. Another cash in for Draven, and LGD with a monster hook find a moment. Cream and Jackie Love survive on a lot higher HP though. And could still be a threat here.
Yeah, the thing which turns it around is a Varasol and a Whale into the choke point. Makes it only a 2 for 3. Given that you take out the Aatrox that early, I think we'll call that still a win there for... still a win for LGD. But top esports get away with a lot more than potentially they should have done after that hook.
The fact that Xiaoye picks up 2 cash-ins there as well feels really good. The Varus begin to get back into the game and necessary. It's messy though, nonetheless.
Yeah, this is a really dangerous angle. Top esports should know better than this. They're walking to this. This is a very different choke point. Jackulov has to flash out there. If he doesn't flash out, it's horrible. That's the right flash to do. The problem is someone has to. The other problem is actually the choke point kind of turns around again. The only thing which saves this is actually Climber going in for a flash ult himself. This saves the play again for them. Means that they open up a little bit of the ability to go beyond this choke point and widen things up again. Very dangerous for either of these teams to go into a choke point because of the amount of AoE damage from one side and the hook threat from the other.
Still, 2 for 3 is pretty good there, especially when 2 of those kills go onto the Draven, who picks up an early Bloodthirster, an early BF sword. Now in a much better position. You are going to be required to do a lot of damage. You do, in fairness, have lots of squishy people who will not enjoy Draven damage.
I see some people complaining about the hitbox of the Nautilus and stuff. The thing you have to remember, and I do agree, it looks really janky on that. There is an important thing you have to note. Champion hitboxes are larger than they look. They are slightly wider to make skill shots feel, because if you missed it when you just
They're all wearing corsets, guys. There's more to them than they
So
like
what
to
it
show.
means is that even though it looks like it's heading into the wall, the Aatrox hitbox is already there and it somehow pulls him just over the wall.
Alrighty then. We buy some time. LGD. Now in a nominal gold lead of about 400 to 500. Not really that significant. Top esports do have 5 grubs, however. We did come away with slightly more grubs out of that. We've got no one having taken the early dragon. Sassy with an early Thorn Mail here. Pretty valuable when you are into an Aatrox, and of course on the other side the Nidalee will be providing some healing as well, so you know, you can understand the decision making with that one early on, especially with the poke option on the Varus. More armor early does feel pretty good to mitigate lethality.
Yeah, that it does. That it does. So, what are our big points we're looking for? Even at gold, Viper's the top esports, maybe can play through side lanes. A bit harder to with Realm Warp and Udy's wave clear, but still. If you open up on the tap, nasty as hell. Top esports really want to play around poke at some point. If they play around poke with good vision control, I don't think LGD have good answers for that, especially once we get to 1 and 2 items.
Yes.
Which is happening soon. LGD at that grubs fight didn't have to worry about that because top esports kind of abandoned their long range position, tried to contest the grubs instead. They had someone inside the pit, got a little bit awkward. Have to say, if I were to judge objective setups in this series, LGD have been better at it. Top esports, I think, have been better at playing sidelines and cross maps. LGD have given the problem initially that top esports have to avoid the initial fight in the first place, though.
It is, but Xiaoye, a player who has been a little maligned really for the late game positioning flaws on a very mechanical hand stiff champion. Again, I don't think it's necessarily been the mechanics themselves that we've criticised Xiaoye for per se. It has often been the decision making, the positions relative to the teams, and those are rookie errors. They are just part of being a new player on a team that perhaps doesn't have you with a lack of experience.
It's mainly for me, it's Shia. It's like, you know, I don't have as much to criticize before 25 minutes, and then after 25 minutes, this guy is just
something reliability.
Something snaps in the brain, and he ends up throwing some big old fights. Good combo to Chris.
Nice.
He's gonna get hooked up as well.
Realm Walk comes around, the heal is decent, it's just not going to be enough, and I think a little bit more damage by CW comes across as the Whirling Death there as well, and Cream gets chunked. Kanavi still wanting to play this, gets a decent amount of damage back on the Y6, but the Root comes on through with the passive. The staggering blows to the Kanavi does so much work. He's going to keep running. A last bit of spell flux and an overload claims him.
Oh, Kanavi hops over an overload to make it happen. Cream and Kanavi clean up 2 after losing the initial 3v3. Crisp gets called out. Thinks he is a little bit safer than he is, but he's not nearly tanky enough. Kanavi, man, this guy has been on such good form in the last couple of games. Game 1 was not a great entry to the series, but you just remind yourselves of what a one-man army this guy could be. JDG last year, so much of it was just Kanavi, bluntly. Starts off with the XQW, he's got level 11, which of course increases his combo damage, and Chris is not prepared for that. Kanavi has Conqueror though, stacks up quite well, gets himself a lot of damage across the place, and yeah, Nautilus goes onto him, doesn't really stop anything else though. He's got fully stacked Conqueror at this point, gets a double swipe across it, double pounce as well, heals himself with the attack speed, hops over an overload, gets himself one last takedown, and gets himself 2 kills. That is sick, niddly mechanics in the clutch.
Problem is, XQW is also the one who picked up both kills there. That Rise is now 3-0 and 4. It's not just the Draven now with a scary amount of gold. 369 just pops the World Ender. Sassy, Wingborn Storm trying to run away, has got Flash available and has got the ult on a permanent low cooldown, and 369 just has to deal with the fact that Udyr isn't really leaving that easily. His
Realm Walk tried to catch out Cream, but he's
walks away down the river.
He's the cream of the crop. Doesn't want to walk into a hook though, we'll just say it's pretty bad. Herald has spawn, top esports have 5 grubs. Now, it's not easy for them to hit towers. If you get Herald, it's much easier to use those 5 grubs. What happened here? The Realm Walk, you see that. With level 11, you get the slightly increased range, but mainly the big thing about Rise now is that it increases your combo damage from your EQ. Shia walking up. Getting some damage onto Chris. That's now down though, that's down the side. The Bloodthirster allows him to walk up and brawl. The hook being the hook Havoc, being half HP, not great for LG.
Less than that.
Being a 5th HP is not a good thing.
Good piercing arrow still. They get the Herald, and I think they might be happy enough that the problem is...
exactly. This is the thing,
mid and
right?
bot.
Yeah, this is the thing right now. Top esports, they are positioning like that to try and stop recalls and allow some free time for the Aatrox to push at the bot turret. They have 5 grubs on that turret and the mid lane turret. We said it's hard for them to hit turrets because LGD abandoned their lanes to go towards the Herald. Of course, much easier to do so. 2 turrets, top esports win the cross map again, even if the objective setup is against them.
And that gets them the feat of strength as well. They already have the first 3 kills. They'll get first turret. Teleport comes top to deny a response kill. LGD overload for the Herald and get punished for it.
So, LGD lose a little bit of presence on the map. Losing outer turrets hurts, especially when you're playing around Realm Warps and hooks out of Fog of War. Losing those turrets, which are also bastions of vision and the ability to push lanes, hurts you and your ability to do that as well. It's an even enough game in terms of the combat stats though, so top esports need to be careful that when they're setting things up, when they're looking to play out the sidelines, that they have the vision to not get picked off by a Rise or a hook.
Xiaoye will be hitting towards a fairly high number of stacks again now. Been a little while since he's cashed in, building towards an Infinity Edge second by the looks of the build, and that doesn't surprise me, as is often the way with the Draven. There's been a few builds over the years. The Lethality Draven was a thing for a bit with the Ghostblade. We've seen Essence Reaver back in the day when it had the Sheen built into it, but Bloodthirster first has been the go-to build for a little while now. It's gone to the Swifties as well, not Berserker Greaves, as you often see on the Draven, because as long as you can keep pressing Blood Rush, you keep getting attack speed, and being able to deal with some of the slows that will be coming through from various members of top esports does matter. Just being able to move around freely matters to a Draven.
Interesting thing which has been picked up as well, which I think is very, very good. I apologize to mention this before. Serpent's Fang, second item picked up by the Varus. That will affect the Udyr shield, which he has from his W, whatever that is. The Iron Mantle, is it?
Yes.
Iron Mantle. You have Seraph's shields, you have Bloodthirster, and of course you have the Nautilus on his W as well. So lots of shields to be denied. Dakulov, I think, actually building very effectively there. Cream sat off on the angle, off on vision right now. There is an opening to this mid lane turret. There is a Herald, but remember, they managed to keep their turret fairly high HP because of Cream's laning phase and wave clear, and they don't have themselves a 5 grubs. The Heralds will help, but I don't think they kill this climber. Just let it charge.
He's going to try and go
No, he's not going to do.
Where is he
just
going?
let it charge.
Where is what? Why?
That's a right click misclick. I don't see why you hop into it. There's no reason to do that.
Mistake. Climber.
That was like your one chance to hit the turret.
Dear.
He doesn't even have like. You have to destroy a turret to recharge the charge of the Herald.
Yeah.
If you drive it away, it won't charge into the turret. They get nothing off of the Herald that they lost 2 turrets for. That is a bad misclick, I assume, from Climber.
Sometimes you see it when people go, yeah, no, we can't play this. There's too many people. It's going to be a disaster to go in. But that surely wasn't it. That's such a problem. Observer looking at Climber, a little bit perplexed, as are we. Maybe there was something there that we didn't see, but first blush, from all we can tell, wasn't it, guys?
So, going to land on Crisp. Aftershock traded for Aftershock Climber on the angle this time. But the spear's coming through. We did say the poke from top esports, when it gets to 1-2 items, hurts. We're at 2 items now. The poke is indeed hurting. Now, Nautilus, tanky for the first bit of the game, becomes increasingly less so as the game goes on. Sassy can about to take down this top lane turret, but I have to say, goal onto the Udyr doesn't excite me much. If it was onto the Rise, onto the Draven, I care about it more. Cream is going to clear up a little bit of CS here too. Yeah, Sassy gets the goal. I just don't think it matters that much for top esports.
Not at the moment. Nautilus still not at a locket, which I think is a big deal. You look at the other side, Rel's already there. That does make it a lot harder to find the initial burst combo, but it does feel for LGD you have to get in and start brawling. You can't just sit there, or top esports will win by default because they outrange you real hard now.
Yeah, there's a question in chat saying, well, doesn't LGD just win from here? That's not my read on it. I do think that, you know, Rise and Draven, if they get to just fire everything, do more damage. However, they are much shorter range than the 3 poke champions of top esports, Kanavi, Cream, and Jackie Love. Also, I think LGD have shown that they have worse positioning and worse macro on the whole than top esports. I think that LGD, they managed to get a great Udyr into the backline. Look, there isn't a great person to take down the Udyr, I will say that. XQW going to potentially catch out Chris. Chris does have flash, he'll need to flash away from the hook, and doesn't. That could be a bit of an issue.
Prison can be off cooldown, flashes for a bit more. Another overload comes on through, the shield is gonna come on through, but it doesn't matter to the whirling Death Xiaoye. Took some damage by the looks of it from a Nidalee and a Varus.
That's another hook!
Oh, nice combo! XQW picks up another flash, comes on forwards. 369 trying to trade onto Udyr, making sure that this Quay, this Varus can't do all that much, gets out of the FLJs, does not give a damn about the world ender. And that ends up, the Severing Bolt keeps flying on forwards and they head straight towards Atacon. There is no jungler. Kanavi was one of the people who fell away and died.
That is such a big mistake by Crisp. Kanavi forced onto after Atacon forced. After this point, 369 no world ender, and just as we were saying, well, it's definitely top esports an easier to play comp with the poke. They throw it around the Atacon. Good damage from Cream, but it's not going to be enough. LGD clutch it out in the fight, and that is a prime A5 category caster curse.
It is, and especially after you said, look, from this perspective, top esports just going to play it out, just poke away, right? And then immediately 2 people get caught. That is another cash in for the Draven, who was waiting. He's now 1,500 gold ahead.
I mean, we said this is as it happens, right? Well, you just have to flash the hook. The root's worn off, doesn't flash the hook, thinks you can backstep it, but you're slowed a little bit when you're on the unmounted Rel, and just really disrespects them. Crisp, you cannot allow yourself to die in important situations like this. If you're going to flash, do the right flash. SQW's Rise really helping, and now Crisp is caught again.
SQW's had a great series. Gonna keep on doing it here as Crisp is about to die. They've got some withdrawals to work with. Yeah, the health bars are coming low, but the poke is not finishing people. Severing Bolt might have done. Doesn't quite happen. Clones away. May need to reset for some HP, but right now, another pick is nice. Does it lead to any structures, though?
I don't think it does, because you can see in that fight, yeah, Chris dies. Jackie Love does about half HP on the 3 members which are there, alongside Kanavi's spears. The damage is there from top esports, but they can't afford Crisp to have a happy game like this. This is lazy from Crisp.
I'll note as well, interesting build from Cream has gone Bloodletter's Curse second on the way. Not normally what I see on that champion. I know this item has been coming back a little bit. People like Rumble occasionally building towards it, but not what I would have expected on a way. He's often, or was, a bit of a crit bloom enjoyer.
He was, because I gave him the cooldown reduction. It does give you the percent pen in a slightly different
way.
Yeah, slightly different blend of stats. I haven't seen this myself. I'm not completely.
There you go. Right, there we go. Let's talk about it.
Basically, if you do damage with abilities, it will start to shred magic resist for the first target you hit. I don't think it does it with all of them, unlike in Arena. Hang on, Jackie Love doesn't have flash. Could be a bit of an issue here. Crisp Not going to be able to.
Hang on, SGW, we're trying to get a flank angle, no! The praise is coming on through, but actually survives just for a second longer. Eventually, Forceman out, Climber in the backline onto Chris. Is in a 1 versus 3. They'll get the mid lane turret. Climber in danger. Does actually have potentially a blast cone to get out, but will unlikely to have it happen, and they get 2 withdrawals out for that play.
That's still 400 gold. So it's like, you know, 2/3 of a kill per one that you'd normally have. It's still kills that you're giving over, but they get out onto the map quicker, especially with Hex Gates. It's almost meaningless, really, the time you spend down. Still, LGD do not want to take a split fight like that if they can, because I think one of the things about having Poke from top esports is, and especially having the World Ender team, they have good follow-up distance. You have 1 Realm Warp, maybe to make a difference there, but if you take split fights, I think top esports, with the range of their 3 big carries, will be able to put an extra 500 damage into each kill that goes in, which is a lot.
Hex Dragon's up. It'd only be second Dragon for either team, so I don't think it's being that prioritized right now, especially with Baron now up and available. SQW, Realm Warp available. Went topside to match 369's shove. And we are starting to get 3rd items and stuff completed. Looking in at Jackie Love, has got that Muramana transformation in. Often a 2nd item for people who build that item. But the Serpent's Fang we chatted about earlier was the 2nd choice. It does come on through. It does mean Jackie Love will be hitting pretty hard on a lot of these people, with the exception, of course, of the Udyr. But Climber comes on over, solos out this drag, and LGD, despite what was a pretty dicey looking mid game, got a few kills, got this Draven to a very scary point, and the Rise is now a genuine threat by himself. So 5-0-5, 5-2-2, the carries are online.
Yeah, Cream, I will say though, on the way, has been doing a lot of good silent work. YCX doesn't have himself a flash to force that play. Baron available, top esports. I don't think they mind actually being on red side for this Baron, because if LGD go towards the Baron and start hitting it, they can stand over the wall and start throwing their skill shots in. That's quite a big difference. The way that you play Baron and Dragon change with the geography of the side that you are on. If you are a Misfortune, you prefer being red side, because when you cast your ult over the pit, you want to be stood over that wall. Same kind of thing with these poke champions. If you need to run in physically, yeah, a little bit difficult when you're on that red side instead. You've got to force your way through choke points.
Udyr, for example.
Udyr, definitely one of those champions supposed to be on blue side. XQW, forced away here. Does have a flash, does have himself an ult.
Running away, he's got a ghost and a preg, keeps running, he's got to be really fast. Is he fast enough? Flash for a bit more, they finally bring him down. And the Rise can't pull a do and be.
That is a problem. You can't be giving up kills like that. It allows top esports to break some of the map setup which LGD has. Look where Xiao is. If Xiao is pushing up here this far into mid lane, your setup doesn't look great. That has absolutely grazed the monkey's butt there. That spear just about misses. This just delays the setup from LGD, which has largely been very, very good. Getting that extra gold over, voice break. Good for top esports. If they can break themselves this top lane turret, they'll absolutely help them for the Baron setup as well.
Nice angle from Chris there as well. Flash to catch out the Rise, who was trying to just ghost and phase rush away to safety and couldn't do it. Top esports will finally claim this remaining top lane out
they're
of
looking for a fight.
So Climber goes on in. Good flash from Cream, prevents the engage. Now the teleports can fly on through. YCX could be in danger as the Aftershock times out. Nice stand aside, prevents Kanavi from pouncing over the wall, I believe. And they get out alive. Cost a summoner or two there in general, but everyone's alive. Top tier 1 does fall as top esports claim.
Yeah, so getting the flash out of Cream, good. Losing the flash on Wukong, obviously bad. So now, what you need to do, Realm Warp, Flash Rune Prison the way if you can, or Realm Warp, or Flash Forward with Nautilus as soon as he gets his flash up as well. That'll be up before Waze is on the other side. Cream, only person in this game who's not died yet, and that first death of the game could be absolutely pivotal if LGD can force it onto him. It's gonna be a little bit hard though. You get a death cap after those items as well. Quay is in a very happy place, takes down that turret, gets a kill on that top side as well, or a kill participation rather. Can't remember if he actually got the exact one. Quay is really ready to tear open this game.
I'm also looking at Shay, who's gone towards that Zeal. I'm imagining rapid fire 3rd here, or 4th rather, to try and empower some of those autos. YCX engaged on, but here comes XQW and Shay on a flank angle, looking to get some damage. Jackie on training with Shay, not enjoying the experience. The spiraling despair is on top of the Draven, but he just heals his way through it. And the flanking Draven is the deadliest.
What did we say? Catch out the way. Now he doesn't have flash. They do exactly that. You do have a Nidalee, you do have a Varus, and they do have the ability to poke over the wall. Can they hit the right targets, though? That will be a big question to ask. Top esports, they're in a bit of a dire situation, but they do have the range.
You've got Flash, you've got Pounce. Kanavi will be challenging to keep out of the pit. In that case, it will still be a roll of the dice. Kanavi more than capable. More than capable of looking
There's
for
still
an
a ward in the
execute.
back of the pit. That's what they're highlighting. That's a great spear onto Xiaoya.
Ow, ow, ow. Got a bloodthirst. Can still trying to keep healing up and does start to.
SQW.
Zonia's. The fight commences. Over the wall goes Climber. Huge cyclone. Into the hook. Jackie Love dies despite the corrupting arrow. That's the one. And they managed to get away. Still damage onto Sass, who gets on out with the Swifties. Kanavi continuing to try. Hooked mid-javelin toss. Locked into the animation, flashing, pouncing, desperately trying to stay alive. And who's back? Cream and Chris! Can look to show him exactly why. We started the Lactose Tolerance Club, LGD. There's too much dairy in your diet. The javelin toss goes wide. Sassy tries to run away, and Top East will take the fight for long enough that the people respawn.
LGD just can't win the clutch fights in the late game. It goes too long. They did the hard work. They killed the way. They went to the Baron and they overplay their hand. The spear accuracy from Kanavi was absolutely sublime. You have Rise, you have a flash and a cleanse on Draven, but I don't think it's enough. Top Esports will take the Baron unless there is a one last gasp play to be made here.
Finally, big damage though from Xiao, who cleanses. Cream's gonna die. Does so. Kanavi in danger. Xiao dead through the massive primal surge. He's on next to no HP, and it doesn't matter. Death charge knocks up 3, and Xiao gets out like a bandit.
Xiaoya has his first good game of the series on the Draven. 7-2-4 on the brink for LGD. They were just about to win the game through that Baron. They threw it, but Xiaoya saves their hides in a back and forth and back again. Top Esports so close to playing out that Baron, but they don't close down the Draven well enough. What the heck happened there? They allow Cream the 1v1. They split their focus. And Xiaoya ends up cleaning up in a godlike turnaround around the Baron.
Oh my days, managed to cleanse the Grim Visage. The fear wasn't there and kept autoing. He's got bloodthirsty. He's got damage. You let him auto, he will stick around.
So this is catching at SQW. This is insanely important. The flash over onto Jack 11, Climber going over the wall, of course, makes things very, very difficult. But you can see that, you know, stacking up Conquerors on the likes of the Nidalee and the Aatrox becomes more and more valuable as the fight goes on. And the fight delays. The Hex Gate's also adding in an extra degree of fast quickness. Shire's life-stealing off the blue buff. That's how he can come in afterwards, but he can't fight here. One stray skill shot would kill him. It is right of him to disengage, but LGD needs to be aware they don't have their Draven. Quay comes back in, and Quay is ruling the damage at this point. As we said, the Conqueror's already fully stacked. Nidalee gets some spears through too. They are very, very lucky to get away with this. But what the hell happens here? 369 and Chris separate down to one side. And then Xiaoya gets the 1v2. He is strong enough to 1v2, not 1v3. Any extra damage would have changed things there. Well, coming in.
Climbers in the backline, courtesy of the delivery system. Chains of Corruption still land onto him, but Cream will fall. Massive kill. They get the Rel as well. Spiring Despair still came out before, and the damage is still pretty good. 369, Jackie, Kanavi alive.
369 not there at the fight, and once again LGD force a play onto the way before he's really saved. This time he did have the flash, but it's not enough. I wonder if he really needs a Zhonya's at this point. The poke's gonna get started up again though. I don't think LGD can really force the issue with all of this poke. The red side Baron pit, as we highlighted earlier, helping Top Esports have a wall to stand behind to fire their artillery over.
We got Hexalt, 3.5 minutes. LGD could claim that one. XUW, the Leandris burn still really obnoxious. And again, they can't stop Baron, despite getting a great engage, because the Poke, the Nidalee are alive. Very challenging to deal with. Yes, you are not quite there for the Zhonya's completion yet. It's only going to be a few hundred gold. I think it's 450 is the completion on Zhonya's. And that is now done. Kanavi's got that Zhonya's available to him. And that makes doing Baron with some of this Poke life such a nightmare.
Credit to LGD, continually finding the carries they needed to do. Cream, we said, okay, while he was at 0 deaths, that first death of the game could be critical. Kind of was, but couldn't quite finish off the kills. They've now killed him 3 times in this mid-game. Cream was doing so well in the early game. Now they've started focusing on him. Change everything. Jackalope down 3,000 gold. It's in a gold-efficient build, so he's still doing a lot of damage. I'm not saying he's out of the game or anything, but
this Draven is very much in it. On the other
look
side.
at that CC. One bit of CC lands, and now there's no Nautilus. They go for the fight. Jackalope is escaping for now. It's a full 5v4.
Whirling Death came across everyone. Xiaoya's untouched. He's murdering them. Spiring Despair in the backline does get some damage, but Cream does work. Doesn't matter though, it's 369. We'll be managing to murder them, and they just don't have enough in the tank. Aatrox 369. The world-ending Aatrox does what is required. The jungle top are dead.
That play is won by Cream getting a route onto the Nautilus, so he's not there to be the engage. Top Esports have finally found themselves a play where their carries all live. Top Esports will go towards the Baron. Draven's resetting. He's not going to be here in time. And LGD, for all they've tried to get onto the carries, have not been able to do it enough times to get the Baron. Top Esports play the range, play the disengage, play for the Baron.
See how this one starts off. Starts with YCX getting massively chunked before anything
This wins the entire fight. Chris says, all right, we're going. YCX is out. XQW, he's the target now. 369 chooses a good angle to just get into the midst of things, heal up as much as he can. But you can see how much work is done by the carries all surviving. You know, that hook lands onto 369. Got a cash in from Xiaoya.
Oh, the heal!
Maybe that's enough. Dodges out on that last overload if you saw him hopping over the wall. He's hopping over it as a bullet is chasing him from the cannon of that Cannoneer, Rise, Buccaneer. Dragon spawning would be sold for LGD. Hex Tech, you do not want to give that over. Gold, very, very even at the top of the screen. But with Baron buff for Top Esports and their ability to play through the 5v5 seeming to be a lot better with their ranged carries right now, especially when LGD don't have flashes, especially on the Draven. Top Esports, I think, should be favored now heading into the next phase of the game.
It was that flash bug again. It's Xiaoya having his flash come back up.
Okay,
So what that is, does have that up and available.
Okay, well, SQW doesn't have his, Climber doesn't have his. Still important to track that either way. But yep, Draven flashing forwards with a full build on the horizon. So important.
122 stacks of glory here as well. Those ultimates are going to start executing at this point, and that is one way you can threaten. If you can realm up the Wukong into the backline, if you can then follow that with a Whirling Death with a lot of stacks behind, you can get rid of a Jackie. Yeah. You can get rid of a Cream, but that's a requirement now. That's not an option. 20 seconds till the Dragon. How many angles can LGD give Cream, Jackalop, and Kanavi to respect? If it's one, and Crispin 369 of that, all of that artillery is going to... I mean, this is a big problem. You can't be doing this, YCX. Losing that HP means an awful lot. Half HP down. Does he have to recall? So they just give this up. It would be sold for them, but they would not lose the most by giving this over. So they still want to force this anyway. Look at this. Top Esports. I like this. Retreat. Pull back a little bit. Pull the Dragon out. Make sure that LGD don't get an easy flank angle. Sassy's coming in, but that's just a power play to hell. Everyone pulls away. It does now mean that LGD are the ones in the river, though. Chunk onto the clone, not the main body of Wukong. YCX on a flank angle of Vision. But actually they spotted him out well enough to have a read. It does mean that we know where Kanavi
Dragon.
Taken! Hexol secured! Top Esports pull back too far. The flip comes through, engage into the backline, onto a Zonya XQW. They killed YCX, doesn't matter, he's dead. And now 2 members down, they have to pull away. They got Hexol, but at the cost of 2.
Kanavi was taking blue buff, so they rush the Dragon. They get the soul, but what the shit did Rise just do? A solo realm warp into the backline, gets himself killed, and might have thrown the game. Top Esports lose the soul, but they take the fight. How much can they push?
They've got Baron at the time. Xiaoya has to flash away as the poke is near lethal. Survives but can't stand and deliver. Flash, cleanse blown.
Sassy, pretty tanky, but is he tanky enough? Xiaoya will get the Fender's advantage, but has no summoners. Top Esports for the 3-0 to get through into playoffs. They need to finish it here.
Xiaoya trying to trade off on the side, getting towards the minions. Climber goes to the backside and takes so much damn damage. The Cyclone is decent. Chris will fall, gets one back. Xiaoya has to flash away. Cream's gonna go down. Xiaoya gets that cash in as well. Keeps chunking people. 369 will not get an Infernal Chain that stops the Draven, who keeps autoing Kanavi and Jackie desperately trying, and they're still alive. The world end is back. Xiaoya's trying. It's a triple for Jackie. Dodgy on the hill of Whirling Death. Zonya's Kanavi just about alive. The piercing arrow just wide.
The game is still going. The game does not end. Top Esports end up taking too long to kill. Taking too long to kill the Udyr, and Top Esports do not finish the game. They lose the Hex Soul now. That's so important to note. LGD get the permanent advantage of that. Dragon stacking coming through. The Baron gets a good value from Top Esports overall, but Xiaoya, after an awful split, after an awful series, holding on by the skin of his teeth, gets something in here. Kanavi spotted taking the blue buff, gets rushed down. He's not here in time to get himself a Q smite steal or something like that. And what the hell is XQW doing? He steps back into his realm warp and goes solo into the backline. This loses them the fight. XQW with a moment of madness steps back into his realm warp and sells the game really there. Nasty from that. However, it's not the end of things as we just said. Cream Steps up a little too far. Eats one auto from that Draven with the rapid fire cannon. Maybe disrespecting that he'd gone back to buy that. I think he might have even done that mid-combat, that rapid fire cannon. Really needed to respect that more. Press tab, picture in picture. We've got to fight over the mid lane. As that inhib is down. Inhibitors forced down for a little while now. Be up for down for another 4 minutes or so. So close to finishing it off. The 1v3 to save the game. Xiaoye on a mission.
Big day for Xiaoye. Has now got the Yuntal Wild Arrows last. Normally you want that first, but it's going to be stacking away with that every stat that Draven wants here.
Just cresting 40 minutes. Leandri's built up for cream. That's nice for him. He has a hell of a lot of damage from that. Remember, the later we go, yes, there's a Hex Soul on one side. There are feats of strength on the other, so if we get to full build, top esports have an extra cap to the stats they can get because of those extra bonus boosts. LGD, not too far behind. Look, gold is a bit decorative at this point. It's about how you play the team fight. If you can get onto the carries before they get a second round of skills, if you can get multiple angles to threaten Cream, Jackal, Kanavi, the game massively changes. If you go one direction, that's not how you win. Arrows coming in from Fog of War. Baron spawning in 20 seconds. There are some wards for LGD. You can use that Realm Warp to open up different angles. Pushing up mid lane, don't want to go into that Fog of War. They do not want to go into the artillery.
Do not be a mid-noughties boy band. You cannot one direction this. We need to be a little more complex here, folks. Have more than 4 notes available to you. The thing is, of course, if you don't kill the Draven from top esports, and Xiaoye keeps up the dancing shoes, he can win the 1vx scenarios now. It is so hard.
Look at the damage. They're really just highlighting YCX as Nautilus has one of the slowest base movement speeds in the game, doesn't build movement speed items. Hard of him to dodge. He doesn't really have the tankiness to see through everything. You have to be careful of that. If there's a chance that spell shield is blown, you can just put your ults down onto him, potentially force him off the game. 10 kills on the Varus and still 3k down. Ridiculous.
No flashes for top esports for a little while, aside from Crisp. Notably, XQW has his.
Yeah.
Could look for a very aggressive play if he wants. The last time he tried it was a mess. Yeah. Still, death cap complete on this Rise, and he's not exactly a slouch at this point either. Somehow, the 10-kill Varus from Jackie Love is still down near enough 3,000 gold. I know, it's just ridiculous, isn't it?
Okay, so, max built for the Draven. Anyone else with max items just yet? No, not just yet. Kanavi got a Dark Seal, he can change it to something else. It's only on the 9. Well, 9 stacks is good, but I don't think he wants to go into Dark Seal. He probably wants to go towards that Death Cap. Really, really nice voice staff, helping a hell of a lot too. The thing is, the slower this game goes, the more chance LGD get hit by one skill shot, which changes the entire game. If you lose half your HP on Xiaoye, on YCX, I mean, with Xiaoye's got the Bloodthirst, it's a bit different. But XQW and YCX, particularly, Climber as well, one skill shot hits them in a bad enough spot, the game completely changes. Jackal about to hit level 18 as well. Once you max out all of your abilities, your poke is so ridiculously strong.
Xiaoye's got an Elixir of Wrath in his inventory, as you can see. He has got it popped. There's the red aura around. We're not sure how much more time he'll have on it. As a Draven, at this point, you are mostly capped. You've got a Zephyr upgrade. That's about it to your name.
You can see that the Udyr doesn't mind taking some damage. 369! The flash over from YCX!
Doesn't quite find the pick. Nice attempt. It was only the Hex Flash from YCX, in fairness, so that's a decent enough trade.
The Hex Soul is what really made that happen. Allowed the slow Sassy on the flank. Now they're able to do much. If that Eye of Sauron, that thing on the floor hits them, changes everything. Kanavi stunned up. Nothing really changing. XQW firing out some damage, but he's really playing with his life in his hands here. XQW separated from the team. Flashes away.
He's alive. They're going to keep trying to run on, change the Corruption Lamb, but he'll have a Zhonya's buy some time, but it's stuck under 4 people. They're trying to trade out to Kanavi, can't quite find it. The Rise is dead! And they don't trade back. In comes the hook. But the damage onto multiple members is brutal. Xiaoye doesn't really try, but he's stuck in the Infernal Chains. Tries to stand, deliver, but the Executioner is in the face of the full might of top esports. Hex Soul is decent, Starex is down, gets a decent Darkin Blade, the Infernal Chains come down again, keeping a drive back, gets another one, the Part 3's not there, gets the kill, needs to heal off the Scuttlecraft, needs to keep playing, needs to escape and reset.
Top esports are going to try and split potentially. They don't know where Xiaoye is, they could have tried to stop his recall.
He's ending the game.
They're ending the game. He needs to recall. Xiaoye, you need to get back to base.
Nidalee's hunting for him.
Nidalee's looking for him. I don't think he'll stop. There's a teleport. Top esports, I think they've played it slow enough to win the series.
He's going to reset now. How quickly can he stop? Look at the bigger picture! It's interrupted! Kanavi stops the Draven. Top esports have to fight for 44 minutes. Xiaoye, with a Herculean effort on the Draven, is finally overcome. It is 3-0, but that was not a clean series. LGD forced Top Esports into cold sweats.
Top Esports will be your second seed coming out of Group A from our LPL Split 1. LGD sadly knocked out from playoffs in a 3-0 here against Top Esports. It was our longest game of the series, one of our longest games of the split. Did mean that we did get adverts on Twitch. Oops, sorry guys, didn't mean to spam you with them as the Nexus was falling, but hey, that's the nature of bootleg broadcast, so sorry for that one. Top Esports walk away with a 3-0. Not the best objective setups.
No.
Good understanding in late game of where they can win and lose the game, though. I think that is a bonus to take away, but you can see there is work to be done in some bits of the early game. Games 1 and 3, they were not particularly impressive in those. And then, of course, LGD showed them that they could get really good objective setup, that they could cross-map well. LGD, I don't think they leave this series feeling distraught. I think that they showed a good level of play for themselves.
Yeah, and again, there are moments here where LGD actually got players with some playmaking to them, with some hands to them. It is things like, Shai, why are you positioning there? Or what the hell was that play XQW a bit too far? And some of those kind of hold my beer bro moments that I think happens to LGD a little too often, that is a bit problematic, because actually they put themselves in game winning states a few times. It's just that the good plays come with an equal measure of mad.
Folks, we now have our upper bracket teams and our lower bracket teams. I don't know exactly what the matchups are, but our lower bracket teams are now Top Esports, Weibo,
BLG,
Invictus Gaming, and Billy Gaming. In our first round, we are going to have BLG versus either Top Esports, Invictus Gaming, or versus Weibo. Our upper bracket teams, then by first elimination, are JDG, Thunder Talk Gaming somehow.
My goats.
We have NIP and Anyone's Legend. There will be a matchup between them two. What a ridiculous... I don't know whether we have a draw show for today, folks. I guess we could stick around for that. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not sure if that happens on stream, off stream, or if there's a particular draw for that. I guess we'll see. This is so insane to me. We're going into best of five, well, going into even more best of fives with Fearless. And folks, games will start again on the 22nd. We'll have 2 best of 5s for the first 3 days, which we'll get through our first rounds. And then for the top 4, it'll be 1 best of 5 a day after that point. I don't know which venues they're going to be held in. But folks, if you're not aware of who we are, we're streaming both on Nymaera, on Twitch and YouTube, and then on Onivia as well, on YouTube as well. I'm Nymaera, this is Initialise. We're brothers, we cast together, and we cover the LPL because there is no official English broadcast anymore. We really hope you enjoy the coverage here as we try to bring you a more traditional cast. We've cast the LPL for years now at this point. I've cast almost 1,000 LPL games in my tenure here over the last 2 and a bit years, going on 3. If you like what we're doing, if you like what's happening over on Onivia's highlight channel as well, please subscribe to our channels, please like, please leave comments, let us know if we're doing well, or if there's anything we can improve as well. All of it means an awful lot to us. Later today, folks, we are going to be casting the LEC.
Oh, yes, we are.
Movistar Koi versus BDS in the LEC playoffs. We'll be casting that, so catch us over in the LEC stream later. And yeah, thanks.
6 p.m. CET, guys.
Yeah. Okay, folks, I don't know whether it's going to be a draw show after this. We're not going to be live for that, I don't think.
No.
I think we're going to leave it there because we have to prepare for other stuff later in today. We have a brothers cast. Yeah, there are going to be literally... We are brothers. There are brothers going to be casting the LEC. You won't see that very often at all at esports, folks. There are very few of us siblings in esports which get to have an opportunity like this. So if you'd like to join us for that, tune into the LEC stream with your favorite co-streams later. Yeah, Initialise is Sam is subbing in because there's been a bit of illness going around the LEC talent team, and Sam is in Berlin and a very good caster, so that's really cool. Oh my god. Well, folks, I think we can wait around for the MVP just a little bit, but yeah, we should probably end the stream here. Thank you very much for watching us. Yeah, I guess we wait around. Do you want to wait for MVP? I guess so. We wait for MVP.
May as well wait for MVP.
Who's the MVP? This will be the highlights. This will be the highlights tonight to take this off the screen.
I think Kanavi and Jackie both had pretty good games.
Kanavi was insane.
But 369 had the clutch plays that possibly got them
the
game 2.
Not Crisp.
Not Crisp.
I'm sorry, Crisp. It's not you. Cream, if he hadn't died as much in mid-game, I guess it was hard for him to do so. Kanavi or 369 are strong shouts. Jackulov, it looks weird for him because he's against a Draven that's cashed in so much. I don't think that's the problem. Honestly, played against kind of Xiaoya, actually, on the losing side. That Draven was so ridiculous. I think XQW had an absolute nightmare of a late game. Those realm warps and some of his plays, getting separated from that team in the last play too. Like, he'll be regretting that for a long time.
Like, you have to send Sassy and Climber with you, right? You can't just go by yourself. And yes, Plays like this. Oh boy.
Well, those are our highlights for the day. Oh god, I need to rest my voice a little bit before later. Good series though. Look, it's a 3-0, but it's an entertaining 3-0. Fearless gives us some different drafts. This was so messy, but LGD, man, their late game is just so sus. Oh, so sus.
Top Esports early and mid game isn't exactly clean either. Some of these early objective fights have been really poor from Top Esports. They gave away 2 games now.
And it's such a shame for XQW because, look, Shaya had an awful game 1 and 2, really good game 3. XQW had a really good game 1 and 2 by comparison, and a really awful game 3. If they both had the same good game at the same time, they would have walked away with
At least a game.
at least a game in this series, sadly, for them. Oh, so close. I think Top Esports just have better understanding of where they win and lose the game. Understanding they can poke out the support. This has always been something that some teams go back towards, which is, you know, effectively, what was I going to say? If you take out the HP, if you poke out the engage option, the engage can't come out.
Yeah.
And then your poke gets to keep poking. It happens when Rel was so meta, it happens with Nautilus here as well. Land the poke onto the Rel and the Nautilus. They can't engage onto you, you're much more safe. What is this Realm Warp? Oh, the Realm Warp, man!
And also, putting this out there, Kanavi flashed just out of range of the Dredge line, otherwise he gets caught and dies there as well. And then actually the turnaround arrow picks off the Nautilus from about 2/3 HP. I think it was empowered by the Blighted Quiver active, but still. Frustrating. I actually think Climber as well did a decent job of disrupting the backline. The problem was it was never comboed with the Uda and the Rise correctly, partly because XQW was trying to make the hero plays by himself a little bit. Man, show you. This guy was genuinely terrifying on the Draven.
He had it. Oh my god, Shaya. Look, this is one of his best games he's ever had in the LPL, and it ends up in a loss like this. That sucks for him.
Ugh. And SQW just can't survive. And they're trying to chase Kanavi on the other side rather than rescue their Rise, and it just ends up going horribly wrong.
One of the problems of Zhonya's using the Varusol, I'm pretty sure the stacks of the Blighted Quiver still tick up even after it's been hit. They will. So he comes out of Zhonya's and just immediately WR with 3 stacks on top of him. Absolutely nuts damage. He plays this out super well too. Oh my god, he's a really good Draven player apparently.
Yep, he is.
He played that all. Oh my god, insane.
I think he's okay at Samira too, if memory serves.
Yeah,
so,
he is.
Yeah.
It's not Abel's through it. It's not Abel's Samira, but it's pretty good.
When I say the LDL has a few lane bully players, I tend to mean things like this.
Yeah. Oh boy. Okay, folks. We'll wait until the MVP comes out and then we'll end streams and everything. So thank you for joining us here today, as we said before.
Here we
Who is
go.
it? It's Kanavi.
There we go. It was a good Nidalee.
Okay, folks. We'll watch the highlights and then we'll start to end the stream. Thank you so much for joining us, folks. Okay, folks, we'll end it there. Thank you so much for joining us. And we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Find someone to raid over to.
Who's on?
Don't know, we'll find out.
You're being sent away from us, guys. Look after who we send you to.
Ah, whatever.
对，我觉得这个也是待会在第一场可以关注的一些焦
I'm
点。
surprised that Nymaera. Oh, but not Nymaera. I'm surprised that Gam is not doing better. Thank you for the raid, Nymaera. Oh my god, I saw your name and I was like, I'm surprised Nymaera. Huh?
KDA 的第一名是 Kati 8.8，而第二名就是修滚。所以其实这两位选手就是承担的
That's the Vietnamese girl right there.
对，
就不太给机会，但当然要先打完塔隆啦，因为其他队都打过塔隆了嘛。哎，
话不是这样说 ，CFO。
Did you enjoy LPL today, Alex?
CFO 也是有一把那个，我记得是法洛士嘛，小柴犬的 ATA 就直接
洗了一点，
但我觉得 KDA 就是一个
指标了。
这两个队赢的第一，输的第三 ，CFO 已经确定第二了。Oh, whoever wins this come first confirmed, and the loser is placed third, and CFO is second. 哦，这样子哦。
它的核心跟主要的体系，然后你可以从 BP 的
这个比赛比较好看，
或者是它的
有不谁哦？
哪一些角色的优先级去看到这支。
I'm just gonna ask my chat. Can you guys hear Zoranis talking?
我觉得这才是一个在可能赛前的时候去分析一支队伍的比较重要的点。那
I didn't realize it was Talon versus M Vikings today.
就是 Fo 哥的形状，就是 Fo 哥的形状，对，就是 Fo 的形状。他只要能达到发育，他确实没有让大家失望。
没错，
对。可是他今天玩的是一些比较偏这种节奏的英雄。
Oh, I had you muted on OBS.
跳出来，尤其是可能卡萨这个点，因为卡萨可能长期比较偏开战型的。
Didn't they get 0-2 fisted?
开战型打野
Yeah,
and they got
well, I mean,
turbo fisted out of LCP.
Well, they're already out there.
一些竞抓，
They had to win the previous series to have a chance.
I'm saying they went out like a wet fart 0-7.
I mean, this game's pretty big because CFO's what 6-1.
Apparently, the winner of this will come first, and the loser will come third, and CFO is confirmed second because of previous standings of games.
Wait, how's that work? Oh, does it go off like game win loss first, and then it goes off head to head?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
Because CFO would have head to head against one of these teams.
I ate a bone.
但绝对是能够首抢的一个考虑。
我觉得是一定要拿，这角色得。
Who do you think will win between Vikings and Talon?
Well, I think Talon's definitely favored. Like you expect them to win, but
是不太确定。
Yeah.
Talon was in CFO the other day.
没有显示到。
Yeah.
先当做是空杯。
有了。
But like you still wait, who did CFO lose to? Was it Team Secret Wales? CFO lost to Team Secret Wales, no?
I think so. Someone in chat said that, yeah.
Yeah. That's like the only like team they lost to, and that was like pretty early on. So I don't think losing to CFO is like a bad thing. And like Talon's undefeated otherwise.
Both teams are 5-1. Yes, this is determined. Wait, this is the match to determine first place. Yes, I was gonna say determination match, but that doesn't make sense. Can you predict the draft? I'm eating food. I haven't eaten food all day.
You could just say no.
What?
当然，库奇还是有去走到下路的。
What do you mean no?
No, you can't predict it.
What do you mean? Betty is gonna play Ezreal. Trust me. Actually, no. That's a lie. They have Skarner.
I'm surprised it's Corky Pro. Maybe it's
It's
just
because
mid. They're
Corky
gonna
can
pick AP
flex.
jungle.
Yeah.
They're gonna pick AP jungle on 3, but Zara's down, so...
Is Skarner significantly weaker on the new patch? Because everyone's letting Skarner open on red.
Well, I mean, they did nerf him quite a bit. I think he's still OP though, but... I mean, it's also fearless, right? So...
Varus. Okay.
Yeah, Varus makes sense.
法罗斯也是可以在前期保障自己现权的一个。
I mean, are they playing like Nidalee or something? Like.
比较强的一个点也是，他就是可以玩这种多流派啦，这会让你在
有攻速有 poke。
你在3选拿。
Are they lucky Nidalee here? What else is even?
There's no Zyra.
Unless it's like Maokai.
What the fuck?
Oh, Brand. Okay, makes sense.
这也是 Guri 好像只有在 LCP 只有他会玩。
I haven't seen Brand since LEC G2 played Brand with Screamon.
一定要补能够开团的艾希，艾希跟进，然后辅助。
I mean, I don't think this pick is as good as the other AP jungle spot.
防在拿开团的时候又被屋底的这一手绝活。
It's not bad into Skana after the early game. I feel like the early game kind of sucks.
加二轮
But
塔隆怎么来做封锁？
if you can scale.
Oh, what do you think of Mel? Mel's winner is really low, by the way, across LCP and LPL.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't
LCP and LCK.
I think it just like doesn't deal enough damage.
所以那第5分可能就在。
But I think it's like really stupid at the same time. Because if you pick her into comps with like low engage, she just pokes you from like 2
我还是
screens
稍微
away.
的再看一下。那待会的话，目前
I think
两边的
Trovy played Mel,
以塔隆这里来说，上游
and
的
he
这
just
一
couldn't
支拿
side lane.
出
It was so sad.
那可能就要
Baker played Mel and then Silas Eden into tower
也
and
是
died.
在封锁掉了蜘蛛。
Faker, yeah.
最后是被
Sure.
波比。
波比哦，
Poppy ban.
比波比。